Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 139 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother, Sean, with a malfunctioning iPad.
With a dying pencil?
Oh, no. At least you got a cap.
How we doing?
We'll get to Cap here in a minute. If this is the first time you're seeing or listening to us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast. Like I said, we get together every week. Two brothers get together to tell you everything we think you need to know about in the world of video games. We run through what we've been playing. Usually we do a Did You Know? We didn't do it last week because it went long. We already know we're going to go long this week. So Did You Know will return when we get back to normal podcast.
Good Lord, I'm just looking at the rundown. This is the
longest rundown I've ever done. Now, we're not going to spend like a whole bunch of time on this. On everything, but it's a long one. If you are listening,
buckle up, folks.
If you only like audio services around the multiverse, go over to youtube.com/2playercoop. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It all helps us out. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs this year. Even if you never watch us on YouTube, it means a lot about getting us to that 1,000 sub number. Thank you so much. If you like cool t-shirts, we do have merch. You can go to youtube.com/ Jesus.
Don't go there.
teespring.com/stores/2player-co-op. Before we get into everything here, Konami just made their quote-unquote special announcement. And because they really, really, really hate me, their special announcement was not anything Metal Gear related. It was not Castlevania related. That would have been cool too. No, somehow Konami of all people is releasing the TurboGrafx 16 Mini. I don't even know what to say. The games released so far, more will be coming. R-Type, awesome. New Adventure Island, good. Ninja Spirit, never heard of it. Ys Book 1 and 2, I did not know. I guess that started on TurboGrafx. I didn't know that. Dungeon Explorer, which I'm guessing is a knockoff Zelda game. And Alien Crush. Obviously, Bonk will be on there and who knows whatever else. But like, just when I get my hopes up for the fourth E3 in a row, for some stupid reason, they crush me like they always do.
Remember this morning when you told me, well, we're both wrong. Do you want to hear what the rumor is? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, if I'm going to be disappointed, you might as well just tell me now because no harm in like ruining a surprise or whatever if it's something I don't care about. And it was Contra. And I was disappointed by that. Now that seems orders of magnitude better than what it was.
I don't even know. I am saying this now, and I want you to hold me to this next year. I am not predicting any Metal Gear remakes anymore. I'm not getting my hopes up anymore. Konami clearly does not care about that franchise, period. It won't surprise me if someday they do a collection. Maybe they bring the Legacy Collection to PS4, PS5 or something. The one oddball in there is Metal Gear Solid 4 because it's a cell processor and you can't get the stupid thing to run on anything. I don't know. That won't surprise me, but I'm done. Like, they made Metal Gear Survive and they made Metal Gear Snake Eater Pachinko. I should have known when those two things happened that no, they really did just make those cutscenes for a stupid Pachinko. I'm not going to lie to myself anymore. It's incredibly depressing. I don't even know. I guess the only solace I can take is it's been even longer since people got a new Splinter Cell game. That was 2013, you know? And there's no signs of that anywhere either. Spoiler alert for later.
So
I just don't even know.
I don't mean this to
And I'm not doing that as a reverse jinx, by the way. I'm just done getting my hopes up. I have no faith in Konami anymore. I'm glad they did the collections and all that. It's good. I like that they did that. Kudos to you. They seem like they're pretty decent collections. But as far as Metal Gear related anything, I'm just done. Unless somehow Death Stranding is Metal Gear, for God's sakes.
So I don't mean this as like a, rub it in your face, twist the knife, whatever kind of thing. But it occurred to me yesterday, I think for the first time, how I'm trying to
Coop
even
was upside down.
Think of how did that happen? How
it was probably Casey.
This even, I don't know how to put it into words, but you'll know what I'm getting at. I want to say I know how you feel, but it's kind of the complete opposite of that.
Yeah. What are your two favorite franchises, and how was this E3 for you, for crying out loud? Continue.
Because, I mean, honestly, I wasn't even thinking about Zelda, but I mean, like, Final Fantasy VII, it's not my favorite game of all time, but it's top 5.
Yeah.
And it's so freaking cool that we're getting a remake. And then I'm like, I don't know if it was, I guess it was when I was watching that, and for some reason it finally clicked. I'm like, oh man, I'm getting like one of my most beloved games of all time remade. I'm like, this is what Kevin has been. I mean, the only thing better in my mind would be an Ocarina remake.
Like that Unreal.
And even that would be, to me, it's like,
it'd just be a fresh coat of paint.
Yeah, you're not going to improve the game at all.
Yeah.
It might be a new engine, but I mean, the game controls perfectly. It runs perfectly. Like, yeah, it would just be...
And technically, you really already got that on 3DS.
That's true. I mean, that really is just a...
That's just an up-res.
But, like, even if you made Ocarina in, like, the Breath of the Wild engine or something, but... I mean, I'd be stoked. I'd be all about it, but it doesn't really need it. Final Fantasy VII needed it. Metal Gear Solid 3 needs it. Ocarina doesn't really need it. I think in terms of all of my favorite games of all time that would benefit from a true remake, not just like a remaster kind of thing, I mean, Final Fantasy VII is probably the top one.
What's crazy to me... Hold on, I got to text Dad. I didn't even realize it till I was thinking, wow, Final Fantasy VII came out in 97. That seems like forever ago. For crying out loud, Metal Gear Solid 3 came out in 2004. It's been just about as long since that came out, and you know what that just made me realize? This year's the 15th anniversary. So now I'm even...
Just 5 more years.
Yeah, 20th anniversary.
They'll do
on
it for the
PS6.
20th.
We'll get it.
It'll be a launch title on the PS6.
So I don't know. That's my Konami. Not even a rant. It's just like, I'm just sad. It just sucks. It really sucks. Like this.
What I will say though is, if you ever get it, again, I think you've got it worse off than I do. But like, you will truly appreciate. You will know how I feel if you end up getting it, because like how long people have wanted this, and the fact that they kept kind of talking about it but never confirming it, and then it was confirmed, and then we still haven't seen it for like
4 years
after that. Like, it was just kind of this rumor for so long. The fact that it's like, well, I'll save my thoughts for when we actually talk about the game, but like,
but the thing
you will really, if this ever happens, like, my God, you will appreciate it.
And the Final Fantasy VII Remake is actually a good comparison because it is a remake. It's not a remaster. It is a clear remake. And that's what I want for Metal Gear Solid 3. Right. I don't just want it in the Fox engine. I want it to be remade. I want the cutscenes to not be remade. I want them to be shot for shot the same like they are in the stupid... I'm just going to tomorrow, I'm going to go on YouTube, and I know there's videos that have every cutscene from the pachinko. I should just watch that and say, well, at least I have this. It sucks that it's on a pachinko, but at least my favorite game of all time. What I love about it more than anything is the story. I think it's the best story ever told in a video game. At least I do have that. But the reason it makes sense with the Final Fantasy VII thing is, like I said, it's a remake I want. I don't just want it to be prettier. I want it completely overhauled from a control perspective. Right. I want it, like I've always said, in the Fox engine with Metal Gear Solid 5's control scheme. You can change the enemy emplacements. Yeah, thanks, Wario, for tweeting about it again. Change the enemy emplacements, do all that other stuff. Like, I do want it to be a remake, not just a remaster. So, yeah, it's a very good comparison talking about Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
But no, if it ever does happen, if it happened, I was already, when 7:30 rolled around, I was like, we're in Central Time. I was like, oh my God. Like, don't get excited. Like, almost on the verge of tears, just hoping that it would happen. If they ever actually announce it, what will probably happen, they'll end up remaking Metal Gear Solid 1. Or for God's sakes, 2 for some reason. Like, now, if they remade Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2, that would be freaking... That would be cool. I would absolutely... Yeah. The real ones, the Kojima ones, not the NES ones. I would be all over that. But knowing my luck, they're just going to they'll remake 4. Like, well, you can't. Now we're going to get it off the cell processor and just make it a little bit prettier. I'm like, well, that's my least favorite Metal Gear game.
I didn't know Konami was just a bunch of rednecks.
They are. God.
Get it off that there cell processor. So
we don't need to spend any more time on it. I've had my. But like I've said many times, you guys have listened to us. This podcast is kind of my therapy. Like I need. That's why I love doing this because
catharsis.
Yeah, because like in the past, before we started doing this, what am I going to tell Jess? Like, oh man, they didn't remake Metal Gear. She's like, well, I don't even know what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, what would I do? I'm gonna be old man yelling at the clouds about Konami. But now I can at least talk about it with you, talk about it with all you out there, and you can feel my pain. Like King Boo, I saw he just tweeted me. It was just ... I'm like, I know, man. I don't know why we do this to ourselves. I really don't.
The pain.
All right. That's enough sadness. Let's get to the happy stuff. But I do have a funny story before we get into everything. So I came out here today. Oh, by the way, the air is working again. If anybody was worried about that, we were sweating our cojones off last week. The air is working. Thank God. Doesn't it feel much better out here?
It feels fantastic.
If you were wearing a long sleeve shirt with an undershirt last week, you would have probably died and passed out. Well, passed out and died. Not
that
died.
Is correct.
That is correct. So I went out here to turn it on, make sure everything's set up right for the podcast. And as I'm walking away from the thermostat, I walk this way, and all of a sudden I hear zzz, and zoom, this big freaking mud dauber wasp goes flying by my head. I'm like, God! And it's flying so fast that it tries to get out through the doors over here. They're you can't see them. They're glass doors. We never did a stupid tour. We should do that. It'd be like a
it could be like a 10-second video. Just do like one panoramic photo.
This is it. But actually, some people might like to know, because I know Solar's asked us in the past how we do it. We do all that stuff. It might be fun to do. Anyways, the dude hit that window.
They would be. I don't know if they would be surprised or let that.
I think it would be good to say, this is all you need.
What's on camera is the
best
most professional part of what's going on in here. I mean, I love the pool house, don't get me wrong, but as far as the studio, you're seeing the best part right here.
It's funny, yeah. But that dude was flying so fast, it hit that window trying to get out, and I heard it go, and I was like, oh my God. So it landed, and I'm like, come on, Wario. Japan gets different games. I'm like, I don't have any weapons here. I was barefoot, so I didn't even have a shoe or anything. I don't know where this thing came from. Probably the door was open.
But aren't mud daubers, they're not even like
I think
aggressive.
It was a mud dauber. I don't know.
I mean, they look the same to me, so yeah.
It was long,
if you can't
and
tell.
It had the skinny thing before it got to the butt stinger part, you know? I don't know. It was big. So I pick up a pillow, and I hit that thing as hard as I can, and he goes, Fun! So then he goes over to another one. I hit him again. He's really pissed.
That was the wasp.
So then he goes over and he lands on the wall over there behind the tree. There's a fake tree in here too. we got to do it. We'll do a vlog at some point. So I'm like, okay, my heart's beating. I'm like, I hate wasps. I got attacked by one last year working on the pool filter, and it hurt. That's the first time I've been stung by a wasp in freaking 20 years probably. It hurt like hell, and for days after that. Anyways, because there was a nest in the pump that we don't use anymore. Exactly. So I run inside, I get my fly swatter, and I come back out here, and he's still standing on the wall over there. Right? The tree was up against the wall, so I was like, oh my God, don't know what to do. I didn't even want to move the fake tree away from the wall because I thought he'd fly away, come over and sting me in the eye or something. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a swipe. And I swipe. And I look. And he has been vaporized, I guess. He's gone. There's no guts on the thing. There's nothing. He's not on the floor. There's no buzzing. I didn't hear him anymore. He just disappeared. So I pray to God that he just fell into the base of that tree thing. I looked. I couldn't really tell because like there's spots on the side where I think he fell down into. But if by any chance we freak out during this podcast, now I know it was too soon. Too soon. Just like it's TurboGrafx tweets. I'll just leave it in. It'll make for great content. But that was my funny story, that there could be a rogue wasp in here that's really pissed at me. But he must have...
Well, I hope he remembers your face.
I must have killed him. I must have. Because otherwise, like, he didn't make any more... Like, I could hear him flying. That's how big he was.
Yeah.
So he must be dead. But I just want to get to that. Couple quick things.
That reminds me, just the sheer size of it, that reminds me of this time back in Connecticut. I was getting into the shower...
Oh, God.
And
tarantula.
I like opened the shower curtain, and as I did that, just out of the corner of my eye, I see something, and I'm like, "What in the world?" I'm naked. I'm afraid. I'm like, I'm just by myself.
Skivvies.
And
no, you weren't even in your skivvies.
No.
That's not the right word.
It was a spider with his legs. You know,
It
that
jumped?
big. No, it was on like the rings.
Okay.
But when I opened the shower curtain, it kind of, so it was like sitting up there. I'm like, oh God, like, buh. And I found something. I don't know what, but I found something to kill it with, and I just whack, and I got him, and like it fell into the shower, and it made
Oh my
sound.
God.
Like I heard it, like you said, when it crashed into the door, like it made an audible thud.
That's terrifying.
It was disgusting. I was blech. Blech. Okay.
Okay. So if we freak out, that's why.
Happy talk.
A couple more things before we get into what we've been playing. If I don't know if you've been
Nah, I
playing,
haven't really played anything.
so I can talk about what I beat. But the Uncharted movie is apparently officially coming out now. Jeff Keighley broke the news because Jeff Keighley, coming out December 2020. Tom Holland's still Drake. I don't like it, although I will say, because friggin' Boss Logic does this to me every time. Did you see the poster he put up? I was like, dang it. I still think he's too young. He doesn't remind... I love Tom Holland. He is by far the best Spider-Man we've ever had, right up there with PS4 Spider-Man. I will say, I forget the guy's name now.
Yuri?
Yes, Yuri. Still so confusing that the cop was named Yuri also. It was just a weird choice. But as of right now, I'm taking the same approach I did with whatchamacallit, with Solo: A Star Wars Story. I just don't think this should be made in this fashion. It should be Nathan Fillion. That little short film they did for 14 minutes shows that he is Drake. I mean, they did such a good job with that, and it's awesome. And they had What's-His-Face as Sully. It was so good. But it's coming out. Maybe I'll change my tone. But as of right now, no. Somebody did say, well, he is good at swinging, and Nathan Drake likes to swing on things too, so...
This is true.
Also, I did finally watch a movie. What do you think it was?
I'm guessing either Ragnarok. Is that right?
Or
First Avenger?
First Avenger, finally. I just randomly... It was Saturday night. I'd been drinking a lot. Jess went to bed because she was exhausted. We'd been swimming in the pool and stuff, and I was just like, I know I can't go to sleep right now or it's going to end badly, so no sports are on. There's nothing. And I went to like my favorites, and I saw like the last time I had watched Winter Soldier was still there from like, it was on demand from FX or something. I'm like, yeah, what the heck? Search for Captain America, and it comes up. I'm like, all right, let's click. How much does it cost to rent it? Free to me. I was like, all right. So I watched the first Avenger finally. It was really good.
I love it. Like, I remember when that movie came out, part of me was like, ugh, Captain America, like, I know he's a big deal.
That's
what
we all thought.
I don't really care enough to... I had the same thought about Thor, and until Ragnarok, or at least until, like, Avengers, I was correct.
Yeah.
But this, at the same time, I was like, Captain America, I just don't care. Like, Iron Man is cool. Don't really care about Captain America. I really don't care about Captain America back in the 19 whatevers. And then I started hearing, I don't think I ever actually saw it until
After the theater?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see it before Winter Soldier?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't think I saw it until after Avengers.
Okay.
But by that point, I kept hearing like how good it was. I'm like, okay, I'll bite. Let's see how good it is. And I was pleasantly surprised. And then I think it was because once I saw Avengers, I'm like, oh wait, Captain America's
cool.
pretty cool. And then the rest is history.
The only thing I had seen before I watched it was the post, which I thought was a post-credit scene. It's not the post-credit scene where he wakes up in the hospital.
That's the end.
That's the end. I'm like, wow, they didn't waste any time letting you think he was dead. It's almost like worse than when Superman died and they have the stupid dirt go up, and then that ended up not meaning anything. But I'd seen that before, and that part's so cool. He's like, Cap, Eddie, soldier, what's going on? You've been asleep for 70 years, whatever it's been. But seeing that makes me... He's by far my favorite MCU character.
And it makes you...
And this just
so
made me
much
like
of a
him
better
even more.
appreciation of Bucky also.
That's the thing. Like watching Winter Soldier, I was like... So when it was
Clearly
revealed,
they know each other, but...
Well, but when it was when he took the mask off, I was like, well, I don't know who the hell that
who's
is.
that guy?
But like, did you watching Winter Soldier before he took off the mask? Was it obvious that it was Bucky? Did everybody know that? Because again, sorry, I saw Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is probably my third favorite behind the last two Avengers. Still my third favorite MCU movie.
I don't think I knew it on my own, just because I didn't really know anything about Winter Soldier. But it was basically spoiled for me because I feel like everybody was just talking about it online, like very openly, because
because it's Bucky,
but it wasn't duh to me. But I mean, I don't know.
Some of the things, so they had the line, not a perfect soldier, but a good man, which came into play in later movies. And it added so much to Cap and Bucky, and it added so much to Cap and Peggy. Like, I knew watching the other movies that there was something there. And, you know, when he's crashing the, spoiler alert for a 8-year-old movie, when he's crashing the plane, he's you know, he's not going to get that dance. You know, I'll see you on Saturday, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, this is horrible. I know he doesn't die, obviously, but it added so much to that. The Hydra base, am I crazy, or did that feel like it was out of a Star Wars movie? Like the tunnels and all this other stuff, and they're shooting the blue laser guns and stuff. It was weird to see Cap using a gun through the whole thing, you know? Yeah. Because I don't think he ever does throughout the rest of Marvel that I can remember. Felt so bad. I knew Bucky died. Well, you know what I mean. Yeah. They make you think he died. That was heartbreaking for Cap and everything. And it was just so good. It was so good.
And it's so
Hugo
cool.
Weaving was awesome as
awesome.
Red Skull. Yeah.
And like scrawny Steve Rogers, however they did that.
I looked it up.
So cool.
As soon as I was
Is it just like another actor and they CGI'd his face over him, or is that
they said
him
that when he was whenever
and they just like shrunk him in post-pro or something?
Whenever he was moving, they shrunk his body. Whenever he was just sitting or lying still or something, that was someone else's body with a little CGI, so it kind of looked the same as other Cap. Or maybe it was just that was a skinny guy and they made moving Cap look like skinny guy. Whatever they did, and they put his head on it. So there was two different ways that they did it. But how did Cap know how to fight? So did the super serum, maybe I missed that because I had a little bit to drink, but like maybe did the super serum also give him CQC and stuff? Like I know obviously he's 4 times as powerful, regenerative abilities, all this other stuff, but then all of a sudden he's taking out Hydra soldiers and he knows how to throw the shield and all this other stuff. That's not me griping. I just don't know.
It's been so long since I've seen it now, but...
And when he fell on the grade, his skinny Cap, like, oh, it was just so... I was like, that is why... I love that guy.
Yeah.
When they were like in training, when he was still skinny and like, oh, let's see this. And he's the one that jumps on it, and the big guy that Tommy Lee... Was Tommy Lee Jones, did I hear he was Patton? They only said his name one time, and I was like, wait, what?
I don't know.
I need to go back.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know his name, but...
Sorry, what were you going to say about the fighting and stuff?
I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, but in my mind, it's like I remember... like when he's going after that first like bad guy, the guy that like throws the kid in the water. He's like, I'm fine, go get him, whatever. Like during that whole scene, in my mind, there's a part where like he's fighting him or he's doing something, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, holy crap. Like, how did I do that? Kind of like facial expression. I feel like there was something. So I assume it's just something that the serum.
It was like limitless or something. Like taking the pill.
Yeah, I don't really know.
So I don't know. I mean, I still think I think the Captain America trilogy reminds me of the Dark Knight trilogy. Batman Begins, solid 8.5. Dark Knight, 10 out of 10. Winter Soldier to me is right up there, 10 out of 10. And then for me, it dips a little bit with Civil War, and it definitely dipped with Dark Knight Rises a lot more than Civil War dipped. I know I'm bitter because Civil War was a better Batman vs Superman than Batman vs Superman was. But it's such a good trilogy of movies. It's so good, and I'm glad that I have it now. I want to get all of them on Blu-ray. All I've got is Civil War and the last 2 Avengers movies. I don't have Winter Soldier or First Avenger. But now I'm like, yep, I want to have these, so I have them. And yes, I like physical media. Shoot me. It was really good. I'm glad I finally watched it.
Yeah. Now you need to watch Ragnarok. As much as you may not care about Thor, it's...
No, but like you, like
it's
the
just
last...
so good.
Thor in the last 2 Avengers movies has become right up there with Stark to me. It's like Cap is still my number 1 dude. I love Cap. I don't think he's just a boring Boy Scout, all this other stuff. Yeah. It's like somebody was saying in an interview somewhere that I looked up, it's like Oh, never mind. It was on the Avengers panel. The when they were talking again. Spoiler alert for later, but they were like, Cap is so fascinating because he doesn't necessarily want to lead and to be this super soldier, but he knows he has to, and he has this sense of duty, and that's why when he was, should I even say it? No, there's no point. But you know what I mean. End game stuff. That's why it's so satisfying. Like he gets to, I don't know. Yeah.
Just yeah.
All right, so moving on. You haven't played anything this week?
I don't think so.
Did you order Kingdom Hearts 3? Damn it.
I don't think
it was
so.
$25.
Have I already missed it?
I don't know. I'll check.
I just feel like when Mario Maker comes out,
Oh, I know. I can't.
that's going to occupy me
wait.
forever. And then Bloodstained, I mean, in the opposite order, but
Right.
Bloodstained and Mario, there's like so much stuff. And then September, and
Oh
then
my God, I
November. I don't know.
I'm tempted, and also it might be October for me. I may be getting Modern Warfare. The more I think of it, I'm like, maybe like if it drops to 50 or something, like on Amazon before it comes out, then I'm like, okay, done. I'm in.
Yeah.
But freaking Doom Eternal looks awesome too. Damn it. Okay. I don't know. Amazon's not loading. I'm going to stop looking at Wario's tweets. There's no point. So I beat God of War New Game Plus.
Yes.
And again, like I'm just was reminded of how special and how special this game is and how much I absolutely love it. I forgot how cool
I think you're fine.
the Magni and Modi boss fight is.
Yeah.
That was tough. I died 4 or 5 times on that. That was the first time that I was like, oh, they said God of War New Game Plus. Even if you just play on, which I played on normal, it is more difficult. The regular enemies and even the ogres and stuff, I didn't have that, or whatever they are, the ogres, trolls, whatever they are. I didn't have much of a problem with. When I got to that boss fight, I died 4 or 5 times. The cool thing that I also forgot, though, when you die in these boss fights, there's so many checkpoints. Like, do you remember how that fight goes?
Not specifically, but I do remember that about.
There's checkpoints, and
fights.
I won't spoil anything because I want you to play through it again. But that's a great boss fight. That part still gave me freaking goosebumps like you can't believe. It was so well done. It was so...
Do they like change it, or do they just kind of ignore?
No, you still have everything in the river floating along. You know who shows up. You know who is talking in the background, which I'd forgotten about. You get there, you see you look like you look. Once you go into the house, the camera like kind of pans away from Kratos and it looks at the floor. And then when it goes back to Kratos, it's disappeared. And your arm, any arm gauntlets or anything you're wearing have disappeared as well. So it's like, okay, that's how they did that. I assume that's what it would be since I was able to use the thing throughout the whole game. I assume that was it. Yeah. It didn't lessen it at all for me. It was still so freaking good. And that I just love that series so much. And I love this game so much. And it's like, I just cannot wait for God of War 2 or 5 or whatever they're ever going to end up calling it. It's so good. I forgot some of the stuff with Atreus after he finds out what he is, who he is, what he is and his past and stuff like that. I forgot there's a part where you go back, like in every God of War game, you go to a certain area, and it's kind of like you're hiding from people, and it's just, and the final boss fight is so good. I'm talking in vague terms because I don't want Sean to remember everything. I want him to play this again. I would rather you play this again than buy Kingdom Hearts 3. I'll say that. But it's just, it's so, that last boss fight's tough too. I actually had to drop it down in difficulty because I got towards the end of the fight and I was like, I can't get him down to any less than like that much life. Like I can't do it. It doesn't matter. When he's fire, I use ice. When he's ice, I use fire, and nothing matters. And I use my resurrection stone. It's like I can't get him down to, I just cannot beat him. I died at that final part probably 7, 8, 9 times. I finally like this. Who am I trying to prove this to? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
And the ending is just...
That's how I was my first playthrough.
It's so good. I was just like, I don't care. I'm not like, there's no trophies or anything for playing it on a certain difficulty. So what do I care? I just want to beat this. I want to see the ending. The ending was so freaking good. I forgot about little parts here and there of it. And, if for some reason you have not actually PSA right now, if for some reason you haven't played God of War, it's on sale for $20. So is Spider-Man. For God's sakes, if you're watching this podcast or listening and you have a PlayStation 4 and you don't have Spider-Man or God of War for some reason, go buy them both right now. You could get them both for $40. Are you kidding me? Two of my my third favorite game of all time and somewhere in my top 15 to 20 games of all time. Like, buy the games. Just buy the games.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
So, Mom and Dad are running late. That's fine. Riley's over there. The other thing I did, I started, and then I finished, and I read the Mario 3.
In that order?
The Mario 3 boss fight book.
Yep.
It was good. Not as good, surprisingly, not as good as the Mario 2 book, because the Mario 2 book was more like history based and how we went from not getting the lost levels to getting Doki Doki Panic and all this, whereas this was just the author. It was still a good book, but it was more about, I think it was 8 chapters long, and each chapter is talking about one of the worlds, how it related to her and her dad, her and her relationships, growing up, all this other stuff. It was cool, but it's not what I prefer. I prefer the Mario 2 book more because it was more of like a history lesson on Mario 2, how it came to be, why it was the way it was. Still a good book. I'm glad I read it. So I've still got to read. I've got Shovel Knight and I got Metal Gear Solid. Boss fight books.
I may...
You want to borrow that for your trip?
Maybe. I was just thinking that.
You've got 2. Wait, which one did you get?
I think you gave me Metal Gear Solid because somehow you ended up with like 3 of them.
Yes, Aunt Sue ordered 3 somehow. I gave you 1 and she sent 1 back. I have to check. You just never know. No, he's just tweeting about Skyrim. All right, Sean. We're not here to talk about God of War New Game Plus, are we?
Nope.
It's the favorite time of the year. The favorite. It's our favorite time of the year. Except if you're a Konami fan. I'm so sad. Let's talk about E3. I will say before we get into this, Sean, would you agree that this was the year they might as well have called this CG3 or 2023? Because this more than anything I can remember for Nick and I love you, Nick. We went back and forth about the gameplay stuff, and we'll get to that with certain things here, but it's like this was the year of CG trailers and not a lot of gameplay, and it was the year of coming 2020, coming 2020, coming 2020, coming 2020. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. I'm glad that a lot of games at least got some kind of dates, either if it was a specific date in 2020, a season in 2020, whatever. They got dates, but it's like, man, I kind of see, and we'll get to it, especially with Microsoft, I kind of see why Sony skipped out this year. Like, what are they going to do? Show another Death Stranding trailer and Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us when neither of those 2 games are ready to come out? Like, and a bunch of third-party stuff, which is what Microsoft did.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if... I mean, now, yeah, it kind of makes sense why they skipped. It's one of those things where you watch E3 and you're like, now I see why they skipped. Or is it, wow, they picked a good year to skip?
True.
Like, I
Good
don't know which it is, but yeah, I don't think...
I do think they'll
my
be back
hype
next
level
year.
was a little lower
Yeah.
with PlayStation or with Sony not being there. But in the end, I don't think we missed much by them not being there. They're not going to give us any more PS5 stuff yet. Everything else we've kind of seen. So, yeah, I don't blame them.
Yeah. So we're going to go in chronological order because I'm not going to sit here and try to rank the conferences. That's too hard. But we did get some news before E3 started. The first thing we got the end. We got the final games announced in the Genesis Mini lineup. It was actually 12 more games. They're shipping it with 42, not 40. So double what the SNES Classic had. Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
Genesis does what Nintendo
Didn't.
Genesis doubles what Nintendo does.
Troubles. The games are Tetris. What the hell? When did Tetris come out on Genesis?
No idea.
Darius. Apparently, actually, I think I read that Tetris did never come out in the West, at least. This game, Darius, never... What did I say?
It's just, I know what you're saying. It just sounded weird.
In the West?
I looked it up, and Tetris did never come out.
Tetris apparently never came out in the West. So there's another game called Darius, which is like... I'm going to want to play... I've pre-ordered this thing. I'm on board. I can't wait. Darius is like a side-scrolling... like an R-type shooter game. Like, okay, cool. It was never released. I think it was almost finished but never released, or it might have been a Sega Channel game or something. I'm excited to play that. Road Rash 2, got that right. Strider, got that right. Virtua Fighter 2.
I don't even remember this being a thing.
It's horrible. It's side-scrolling. Obviously, there's no
Is it
3D
like
that I
2D?
remember. Yes.
But like...
With like round, not
but like
polygons
fake
or anything.
polygons?
No, not even polygons. They just created Virtua Fighter 2 like it was Street Fighter 2.
Okay, that's kind of
with
what I was trying to get at.
Alicia Dragoon. I've never heard of that. I don't know. Columns. I'm going to give us... Oh, no, we did say columns. We ended up saying columns, not columns 3.
I don't
So we
remember.
got that. Yeah, we got that right. Dynamite Heady, we got that right. Kid Chameleon got that right. Monster World 4, didn't even think about that. Light Crusader, don't know that. And Eternal Champions. So
we probably ended up, what, about 50%?
we got over 50% because we went 5.5 because we gave ourselves a point for Golden Axe instead of Golden Axe, a half a point for Golden Axe instead of Golden Axe 3. And then we got 6 of the 12. Oh, wow. So, yeah, we were right at 50%, just over 50%. Great lineup. So there's only 2 games that I can remember that need the 6-button controller. I still think it's so weird that it's shipping with a 3-button. You got Eternal Champions, and you got Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition. I'm probably going to end up getting 2 6-button controllers just because they feel better and just because I want them. Because we're going to do Let's Plays like crazy on this thing when I get it.
Yeah.
Are you tempted at all, or are you just good with the pie?
I don't know.
I'm not getting the TurboGrafx Mini. That is where I draw the line. I've got the NES, SNES, and PlayStation, and now the Genesis. I'm not getting the TurboGrafx.
I think because I didn't get the NES or the SNES, I'm probably not going to get the Genesis, but who knows? When I start playing yours and we do Let's Plays, it may ignite something in me, and maybe I will. I don't know. I might.
And I got a feeling this won't be like the NES and the SNES. I don't think this is going to be impossible to come by, that kind of thing.
No, I don't think so.
So I think if you want it, or just freaking ask for it for Christmas.
Yeah, that's true.
We're grown-ass men. Next up, Apple Arcade announced that they will support Xbone and PS4 controllers. Awesome. And also, they will be supported on phones with iOS 13 and iPads as well. So if I really want to feel good about myself, I can play Fortnite on this thing, hook up my PS4 controller, and be like, hey, you got your stupid touch controls. The only reason that I'm putting this in here and that we care about it at all, Oceanhorn 2. Looks, after you told me, I was like, okay, I looked up the trailer. I was like, my God, this looks, how is this running on a phone?
They didn't show too much, but they showed it for a little bit without saying what it was. I'm like,
what is that?
Is this Oceanhorn?
Yeah.
Like, well, at first it was like, oh, this kind of looks like Zelda. And then I'm like, wait a minute, is this Oceanhorn? And then they're like, and Oceanhorn 2 looks great on, whatever. I'm like, oh, crap. It looks beautiful. Like, I loved the first one, and I knew that Oceanhorn 2 was going to be more 3D over the shoulder. Yeah, Ocarina style, but it looks beautiful. I was picturing Oceanhorn 1, but a different camera angle, kind of. This looks like this is like Oceanhorn grown up. And
even what I obsess about in all games is hair and water. There's no hair to talk about here. Hair. But even the water in this, like I saw like a spanning shot. It might have been an old trailer or something, but I was like, that water looks freaking amazing. It is amazing to me what you can do on phones now. Am I going to play this on my phone? Hell to the no. Am I going to play it on my Apple TV? Yep. Now that I can hook up my DualShock 4, I don't need to wait 3-4 years for this to come to PS5. Because that's
play it
what
on my
take.
iPad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
With my PS4 controller. Yeah.
So I'm so happy about that. There's no date yet. The other thing I don't understand, I assume I can just buy this without having to subscribe to Apple Arcade. Did they talk about that at all?
I think that's separate from Apple Arcade. I think Apple Arcade is like it's like a lot of small, I'm trying to think of something to compare it to. Think of like indie games. Think of like
Super Meat Boy,
Overcooked. Yeah, those kinds of things, but
mobile.
Even on a smaller scale, on your phone, it's like you just pay a fee and you can play all I don't know if it's all those games or if it's like rotating games every month. I don't know how it works, but it's not
I don't
something like
remember.
Oceanhorn 2 is going to be just buy it. I'm almost positive.
Yeah. Next up, THQ Nordic, who's supposedly working on hundreds of games, I think is what they say, or 80 games or something. They had 3 announcements. They announced Darksiders Genesis, which is a new Darksiders game, but it's a top-down action RPG, kind of like Diablo. Looks good. I'm not going to play it. SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated was announced.
I can't.
Did you play this?
No.
Oh my God. I thought you were being serious. I was like, this won't surprise me at all. You were in college.
I mean,
whatever.
I love me some SpongeBob, but I don't even know. I don't know that the name kind of sounds familiar, but
I think it was
couldn't
PS2, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah. I don't know. This seems like an odd title to.
The
bring
funny
back,
thing was
but-
Barrett at Kind of Funny predicted this.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Destroy All Humans is getting remade. Shout out to Chris Raygun. It's like his favorite game ever. I haven't played it. It's supposed to be a lot of fun, but don't really care. Also, Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Liar. Nope, that's probably Lair. I spelled that wrong. Was announced. This looks like it's up your alley. So it's Yooka-Laylee, except it's a 2.5D platformer in the vein of Donkey Kong Country.
This
I don't remember if it got a
interests
date.
me.
I didn't write that down, but
Which just reminds me, every so often I'm like, I don't really know what to play.
Tropical Freeze is down to $40 on the eShop right now.
Well, that's what I was getting at, but
It's still too much, I think.
that's way too much.
It should have
I'm
been
sure
40
it's
brand
probably
new.
worth it. Yes, and it should be down to like 20 now.
All of these Wii U games, and I said this to Justin Day, it showed up in my time hop a few weeks ago, or a few days ago. Maybe it was an E3 thing or something. But it was about Donkey Kong Country, and I told him, I'm like, all of these Wii U ports should be $40. They should not be $60 games. You've already made money off these. I don't, and Nintendo's not good about discounting games and stuff, so the fact that it's even down to 40 digital through the eShop is a big deal. This game should have been 40 from the beginning, on sale for 30 now.
Yeah, and I fully believe it's probably worth 40.
A lot of people say it's
I
the
just
best
don't wanna
Donkey Kong game.
Pay $40 out of principle.
Christmas.
Bless you.
Grown ass men. So it looks really good. I've just got. I think it's coming out this year. I've got enough to play though. And then we got to the big gun of the pre E3 news, and that is Google Stadia. It is launching in November, only via the Founders Edition. It will be playable via Chrome on desktop, on your TV with a Chromecast, tablets, and Google Pixel phones. That's it at launch. Sean, do you want to know what the Founders Edition is?
Sure.
It is $129. You get a limited edition night blue Google Stadia controller thing. You get the Chromecast Ultra included, which is normally $70, and you get 3 months of the Pro subscription. What is the Pro subscription, you should ask? I will tell you. It's $9.99 a month. This is what you need to get 4K 60 frames per second with HDR and 5.1 surround sound. Stadia Pro also will give you discounts on games and free games like PS Plus, and they're accessible as long as you keep your Pro subscription. For a limited time, Destiny 2 is available for free on Stadia. You get the base game, all add-ons, the new expansions, and the annual pass, and you do get cross-save with PC and Xbox and also with PS4. Apparently, they made that deal at the absolute, last threat level midnight hour.
Right.
Stadia Base is coming in 2020. If you do Stadia Base, it's free, but you can only do 1080p only. 1080p and 60 frames per second. You have to buy your games. By the way, you also have to buy your games with Stadia Pro. So you pay $130 just to get this thing. $10 a month. You get some free games, but it's not like you can just do that and go play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I'm just throwing that name out there because it's been promoted and stuff. You have to buy the games still. So,
But still, I'm not big on Stadia, don't get me wrong. However, when you look at it in terms of
you got to buy
you're
games on your
buying
$400
a system,
console also. Yeah.
Right, it's way cheaper. But
some of the games that will be available for purchase include Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Doom Eternal, Doom 2016, Rage 2, Elder Scrolls Online, Wolfenstein, Youngblood, Destiny 2, Get Packed, It's like a moving game. Grid, Metro Exodus, Farming Simulator 19, Baldur's Gate 3, which was a big deal for... You never played Baldur's Gate, did you? Mm-hmm. It is also coming to PC. Power Rangers, Battle for the Grid, Sega Football Manager, which I think is actually soccer, Samurai Showdown, Final Fantasy 15, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, NBA 2K, Borderlands 3, Mortal Kombat 11, Darksiders Genesis, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Just Dance, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Division 2, Trials Rising, and The Crew 2. Other publishers that they have not announced their games yet include Capcom, EA, and Rockstar. Bandwidth. So they did talk about this a little bit. You need to have at least a steady 10 megabits per second to get 720p. To get 1080p, you need to get a steady 20 to 25 megabits per second. And for 4K, you have to get at least 35 megabits per second. Por qué? I am still so down on this. I don't. When I see people like Greg Miller, like, I paid $130 for it, I'm going to try it out. Like, you have a PlayStation Pro. You have an Xbox One X.
Well, to be fair, he's going to get it for free.
Well, no, he's not. Well,
they will.
I don't get, like I was talking to NSA Jose, shout out to you, dude, if you're watching, like, I don't get the fact that you still have to buy, like, and this is what Schreier was reporting a while ago. Like, nobody knew pricing, all this other stuff. He said, you still have to buy the games, just so you know. You're going to have to pay per month. You only have to pay per month for the Pro subscription thing. But you still got to buy the games. I still think streaming, obviously, is the future. I do think the PS5 and the Xbox 2, or whatever it ends up getting called, I got that prediction wrong. I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised if these are the last consoles.
Oh, I think they will be.
I hope they're modular, but I won't be surprised if these are going to come out in 2020. If in 2027, I'm going to be like 100 years old, if the whole gaming
landscape... You'll be
landscape,
almost 50.
Shut up. No, I won't. I'm 37, you jackass.
Yeah, in 8 years from now.
I'll be 45. I won't be surprised if the whole gaming landscape has changed to where we're all playing on apps. Like, I don't think we can even, as quick as technology moves. I love my box. I love my Switch. I love my PlayStation. I've loved all my PlayStations. I love the fact that the Xbox exists. Like, I like having a box. Boxes actually might continue to exist, but they will just be streaming boxes. Like whatever if Scarlet, they didn't talk about that at all, by the way. They just talked about Scarlet. We'll get to that here in a minute, but it won't surprise me if the boxes we get are like a Apple TV, but a PlayStation TV. Like when they did the old, remember the old Vita thing that they did where you could play Vita games on your TV? It was like the size of a credit card. Something like that, to where basically you just stream games through it. You hook up your DualShock 6 or whatever it is to that and you play games. But I've talked a lot about Google Stadia. What do you think, Sean?
I haven't really changed my mind since it was announced. I think it's a novel idea. Yeah. I think it's probably is the way of the future, but I think it's the way of the future, not the way of the present. I don't think we're there yet. I just can't imagine. There's no chance this thing comes out and Twitter is not full of people complaining about how I can't even play like Super Nintendo games on my Pi, which doesn't even leave the room I'm in without like a lag between me hitting a button and Mario jumping. This is somehow going from here to God knows where and back again and playing games a lot more like advanced, lag intensive or whatever than Mario World. I don't see how that works.
I can see how it works if you buy the Stadia controller, which is Wi-Fi, direct to the servers, all that other stuff. If you're using some third-party controller, which I think they have something
even with
they
that,
can connect.
I don't know.
No, I know, but especially if you're not using that, if you hook up an Xbox controller because they work on everything to Stadia, what is? And the other thing, this whole thing that they said when they did the reveal of this, you just watch a game on YouTube and you click play and you're going, bull crap. They didn't talk about that. We're still not even
to the point where.
If you can do that, it's like a 10-minute trial or some bull stuff, Craig. Like, Keep going.
Well, no, I mean, I was going to say, we're still not even to the point where I can just click a link and then the website's up.
Right.
Like, it still has to load. Now, I get, like, we have streaming video. That's basically all this is. They're streaming what you're playing to your screen. But all of your button inputs need to go there, register into the game, and then it comes back to you so you can see the output of what you did with your buttons. There's no way, if you're playing, like, Doom Eternal, that you can hit dead. R1 and it's just... It's going to be like... If you're just listening, I'm pulling my trigger finger.
Is ripping your head off.
There's no way it's going to be instantaneous. It's not. I don't think it's going to work.
The funny thing I think of, like, I swear, I know this is going to be funny, but I'm a parent, so give me a break. When we watch, Eliza wakes up and she wants to watch Peppa Pig. So we go out there, I get her some milk, put her in my chair, because she owns my chair. My not even 2-year-old owns my chair. She wants to watch Peppa Pig. So I'm like, I want to make sure we're watching, like, Peppa Pig official channel, something that's not going to have, like, jump out of it in the middle of it. Hey, kid, you want to know how you slit your wrist? That's how you do it. Like, we know the horror stories out there. Sorry for your ears. That looks awesome on the PC. Anyways, laptop. So the other day, like, we searched for Peppa Pig, whatever. It's like Peppa Pig official channel is live now. They're streaming old episodes. I'm like, okay, let's just watch that, because maybe it's something we haven't seen 100 freaking times right now. And we're watching it, and it's fine and everything, and all of a sudden it starts buffering like crazy to where I can barely make out who's Daddy Pig and who's Mommy Pig. And I'm like, I have decent Comcast internet. My speeds go up to 100 megs. Usually, if I'm lucky, 60 to 70, some in there. And freaking Peppa Pig is buffering. What the hell am I going to do when I want to play Doom Eternal? It ain't going to work. No. This is not only that, Google has such a history of abandoning everything. Like, we've been talking with Nick and Ernie about Hangouts doesn't
Google
exist
Plus,
anymore. It's just
Google
Plus gone. Google Inbox. They're going to get rid of the Gmail app. No, we're going to go to Inbox. No, you're not. You abandoned that like you abandoned everything. I will not be shocked if 1 year from now this is not a thing, because Google has a horrible history.
That would not shock me in the least bit.
If this was Apple Stadia, I would still have my doubts because of our infrastructure in the U.S. and everything like that. If you're in a big city, fine, you're fine. You're fine, especially if you've got Google Fiber or something. You're good. Like your house.
That's the thing. There may be select markets like Topeka or whatever it is that Google just, like there may be select markets where
the
this
funny
works.
Thing is, I thought of Kansas too. I don't know why.
I think it's Topeka. But yeah, like you said, I still can't. I have fiber. I have 100 megabytes per second. I still can't. It was during Final Fantasy VII yesterday when I was watching the E3 thing. It kept like buffering.
Yeah.
I'd watch it for like 20 seconds and it'd buffer for a couple seconds.
You're like,
you're dead. Like if you're playing.
Correct.
Almost any besides Farming Simulator. Oh God, I didn't cut my corn quick enough.
Maybe you let a friggin' chicken die.
Like, that's not. You cannot have any lag whatsoever.
Right.
Zero. So I don't know. I literally, I don't want to be like Debbie Downer here. I think this has no shot.
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic idea, but we ain't there yet.
I think they have the right idea. I think they are too quick to market.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer, like Sean said. I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer this whole time. There's going to be a lot of things that I'm down on, but it's more probably frustration, whatever. But just, yeah. Google Stadia, interesting. I want no part of it, I guess is what it comes down to right now.
Yeah.
5 years from now, sure. Talk to me then. Next up, the first actual part of E3 was EA's EA Play Live, which it wasn't a conference or anything. It was just like an online thing. There's only two things that really matter in there. And the first one is we finally got to see, by God, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order gameplay and details. OMG. So there was interviews after it where the developers said they were inspired by Wind Waker, Dark Souls, Metroid, and Bloodborne. The gameplay is punishing but accessible. There are no load times. I guess whatever you ride, this thing called the Stinger Mantis, I wrote vehicle thing, hides load time, so you never have to worry about loads. That's cool, but I'm guessing when you die, it's going to load, whatever. The droid that is with Cal Kestis is BD1. He's super cute, and he's awesome. He's not a ball. He's not a soccer ball, but he's a cool little droid. When they talk about the gameplay, so you have a force meter at the bottom. You've got 2 meters at the bottom. One's a force meter, one's a block meter. The force meter does not regenerate by itself. You have to defeat enemies to get it to regenerate. So it's kind of a balance of when do I want to use my force push, force pull, and force slow bullet time thing. You want to use it at the right times when you've got enough force meter thing so that you're not just hung out to dry when it matters most. Your block meter, if you watch the gameplay, you see Cal Kestis going bing, 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 bing with his lightsaber, and he's reflecting. It just looks so freaking like this is what I want from a Star Wars game. Yes. That does replenish over time, but you got to worry. Like they made sure to say like you don't want to just go bing, 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 bing with your lightsaber. If you should be watching on YouTube. And then all of a sudden you got no block meter left, and then dude comes up with a freaking this one Death Trooper, whatever it was, comes up with this Darth Maul dual bladed thing with like purple lightning around it, and it's like, well, if you don't have a block meter, you better be able to dodge. Also Saw Gerrera. Is it Saw Gerrera or Saw? Okay, Saw Gerrera's in it, voiced by Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah,
captured by Forrest Whitaker. So freaking cool. Remember, this takes place between 3 and 4. What do you think about Jedi Fallen Order?
I am trying not to get my hopes up. I have no reason. Like, this should be... It's just... I was so hyped for... I can't... What
Battlefront.
Battlefront. Like, I was like, this... I know it's not some of it's first person, whatever. I'm like, this is not a game I should like, but it's Star Wars, and it looks beautiful, and it's this cool story. I'm like, I'm in. And then never bought it, and I soured on it quickly. I was just like, nah, no. This is what I want. This is what Star Wars should be, but I'm just, I don't know. Between games just getting canceled and games not panning out, like, this is what Star Wars should be, but I'm very jaded. But I want... If this game, the way that I think it will be, comes out, it's going to be fantastic. But I'm keeping my expectations in check.
So I have pre-ordered it, and I went into this thinking, if this doesn't look good, I'm going to cancel it. Because I assumed Watch Dogs 3 was going to be out in November also. We'll get to that in a minute. Seeing this gameplay, I'm like... I'm kind of like you, except now my hype has gone from let's hope it doesn't suck to this looks freaking awesome.
Yeah.
This, wow, sorry for your ears. Yep, that was a spike. Other than Link's Awakening, because clearly we're not getting Last of Us this year. It's not happening. Other than Link's Awakening, this is now, and now that Watch Dogs got not pushed, but it's coming out next year, this is my number 2 most anticipated game ahead of Death Stranding for sure. Like,
really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
I mean, mine too, but I'm kind of.
But I know this is like, we'll get to Link's Awakening here in a minute. We're gonna geek out like just crazy. This looks so good. Like this, I know Respawn is really, really good at what they do, but typically what they do are shooters. There's no shooting at this at all. Like. This is what when they said Amy Hennig was going to make a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I wanted to see, and I hate that it's not Amy. I don't know what happened there, whatever, but like this is exactly what I wanted this to be, and I'm over the moon for this game right now.
Yeah.
And it comes out a week after Death Stranding. I'm guessing I will not have beaten Death Stranding in a week.
Probably not.
But I can see, I mean, I don't know. I could play Death Stranding and it could be like, this is my Metal Gear Solid 3. I doubt that. But I feel like when this comes out, it's going to be like, okay, I love you, Kojima, but I'm putting you back over here and I'm going to play the hell out of this game. I already know I want to platinum this game. I don't know what the hell the trophies are going to look like, but it just looks like this is the Star Wars game. Now it could come out and it could get a bunch of 7s and 6s and we could just be depressed. But like this looks like the Star Wars game that we deserve to get, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yep. I agree.
The only other thing worth talking about, unless you want to talk about Madden and FIFA got a street soccer thing, whatever added to it. I don't care. Apex, and I don't care about this either, but I guess people still play this. I don't know. Apex Legends Season 2 is coming and they got a new character, Watson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I
No, that's me too.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's talk about Microsoft, Sean. Microsoft opens the conference with Outer Worlds. It is announced that it's coming out on October 25th. This, pretty sure, is a third-party game. Google that so I don't sound like an idiot. Google Outer Worlds. This is from... Oh, no, actually, I don't think this is. I think that is an Xbox exclusive, sorry. Because this is from Obsidian, who is the developer of Fallout New Vegas. I could be getting that wrong. I don't know. I was trying to take notes as all this went along. But so...
Game will be released on PS4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows.
Okay, so we've got a third-party game to start it off. You liked Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 3? I forget.
I didn't... The only one I played is 3.
Okay.
Just because I think I saw it at like a GameStop a long time ago, and it was like $20, and I was like, why not? Game of the year. I'll try it. And you like start the game in like a bunker, and I was like, okay, this is getting kind of old. And then you get outside, and I'm like, okay, here we go.
Vets.
And I still lost interest in like
Okay.
10 minutes and never went back. So
It looks like this is what Fallout... If I cared about Fallout, I would care about this game because it seems like the combat is much better than... Every Fallout game, when I see the combat in it, I'm like, how do you people play this game?
Yeah.
Like the whole VAT system and everything slow. It just looks boring as hell. This game looks good. I'm not going to play it. I know people are super excited for it because it's from the... A lot of people say New Vegas is better than Fallout 3 and better than Fallout 4.
Yeah.
So this is the Fallout. If you like Fallout and you were disappointed by the others, this is what you want. Next up, Ninja Theory, who their last game was the phenomenal, which I still need to play. Logan, I'm sorry. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. They also did Heavenly Sword and a bunch of other games. Heavenly Sword was like the female God of War launch era PS3 game. They announced this leaked early. Thanks, Jason Schreier. Bleeding Edge, which is a 4x4 third-person melee combat Overwatch kind of game. There's a technical alpha on June 27th, and it's coming to Game Pass on day one. Ninja Theory also did the DMC Devil May Cry game, like the spin-off that everybody was mad at because they did something to Dante or whatever. I don't know what they did. People didn't like it because whatever. To go from Hellblade... Senua's Sacrifice to an Overwatch wannabe is super weird to me. I feel like this game has bust written all over it.
Yeah, I could not care less about this.
No. Next up, Ori and the Will of the Wisp trailer shown. This game is breathtakingly beautiful. It's not out, though, until February 11th, 2020. I'm shocked this isn't coming out this year. I feel like we've been hearing about this game for as long as I've been predicting Metal Gear Solid 3 remake.
I was going to say, yeah.
But it's out February 11th, 2020. The game is absolutely... It is absolutely gorgeous. I haven't played the first Ori. I'm surprised we didn't get an Ori announcement for Switch. I thought that would be coming as well.
Yeah.
Also, I was going to predict Master Chief in Smash. I'm glad I didn't do that because it would have just been one more I got wrong. Next up, they announced Minecraft Dungeons coming out spring 2020. I guess this was announced previously, but this is the first time we've really seen gameplay of it. You can play like I said, spring 2020. You can play 4-player local co-op or online co-op. It is basically Minecraft meets Diablo. You're going to be shocked that I say this. I kind of think I like this.
So is it Minecraft just in like appearance only?
Yes.
So there's no building.
No building and all that crap.
Okay.
It's Minecraft meets Diablo meets Zelda. I would have said Minecraft meets Zelda, except it is, you can play, like I said, up to 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
So it looks actually kind of fun. I told the boys about this, and they were like, what? When? Like, next year.
What?
Looks really good. The first game that they've shown, other than Ori, that I'm like, this actually looks really good. We saw more Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order is awesome. Then this one came out of nowhere. They announced a freaking... What year is it, Sean?
2019.
When did Blair Witch come out? 20 years ago? Or was it even 22 years ago? Was it 97?
It was late 90s. Oh, jeez. It may have been 97.
For some reason, we're getting a Blair Witch game. It actually kind of looks cool. You've got the whole video camera thing and everything, but I don't know if that was gameplay. I don't know if it was CG. Did you see this?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's so weird. Like, you're following your dog. You're looking for somebody. The dog disappears. I'm sure he got eaten by the fake witch or whatever. I don't know. And then the camera falls down. And then you go into the camera and it goes back to the beginning. Like, I don't know if they're... It was hard to tell in this trailer what the game is actually going to be and what is just, again, the theme of the conference. What is CG? But we got a Blair Witch game coming out August 30th. 20 years too late? I don't know. But I know they put out other Blair Witch games. Apparently, they were horrible from what I know. Then they finally brought out the big guns. Cyberpunk 2077 is out April 16th, 2027. I'm kidding. April 16th, 2020. Now, Witcher didn't hook me. I have not gone back, and I don't think I'm going to. Cyberpunk, I've just kind of been like, I'm so sick of everybody blowing smoke up CD Projekt Red's Patukas'. Their butts. But then I saw this trailer, and I'm like, this kind of looks dope. Like, this looks really cool. And then the star of E3 comes out as... checks notes. Johnny Silverhand being played by Keanu freaking Reeves. How many actors right now could you see? No, I don't want to update my passwords. Could you see a silhouette of and say, oh my God, that's blank? Obviously, you knew it was him because they just showed him in the trailer, but is Keanu Reeves the coolest person on earth right now?
He's had kind of a renaissance ever since, I'd say, about John Wick 2. Apparently John Wick 1 even, which I thought just looked terrible. And then 2 came out and everybody was like, oh my God, there's a sequel.
I haven't seen them. I need to go watch all three of them.
Why is there a sequel to this? But I've never seen any of them. Apparently they're all very good.
Do you know
somewhere
the
right
reason
around
I
2,
haven't watched them?
He like blew it because of the dog.
Yes. I'm like, I can't. Like, maybe I can fast forward it. I don't know. I'm sure they don't show it, but still.
Yeah.
Anyways, are you interested in Cyberpunk?
I don't know.
The only thing
it's so hard for me to... It's like I only have so much interest now, and I need to just parcel it out where I can. It's like I can't afford to be interested in it. Does it look cool? Kinda. Does the cynical side of me just think they're copying Death Stranding by having like a famous actor be like the main character? Or I don't know if he's the main character, but a main character. Apparently
he's been in the Cyberpunk books or whatever. The character of Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah.
I can't say that with a straight face. The Boss Logic thing was awesome with him as Venom Snake. I'm like, okay, can he just be Big Boss if this movie ever gets made?
I don't know. I'm not interested. That's not to say it doesn't look good. I can't be interested. I don't know.
The only thing with my eye is twitching. Twitch.tv/2player_co-op. We never Twitch, but sometime we will. It's first person. Like this was weird that last year they did a big gameplay demo of 30, 40 minutes, something like that. They didn't show it at E3. They showed it like the week of E3, like after their trailer and all that other stuff. The only thing that holds me back is I think, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, comments, whatever, we're not live. I think it is first person, which is just kind of weird to me.
No, I didn't know that.
But like this dude's got freaking, Baraka blades coming out of his arms and he's cutting people up and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. So this is a month after spoiler alert, Final Fantasy VII Remake and Watch Dogs. There's a extremely new word. There's an extremely good chance I'm still playing both of those games a month after they come out, either for the platinum on Watch Dogs or just making my way
downtown.
Yes, with Final Fantasy VII. But for the first time I saw and maybe it's the magic of Keanu Reeves, I don't know, but like this is the first time I've seen Cyberpunk and been like, I'm kind of buying into the hype. It is interesting though, because clearly Last of Us is going to come out next year, period. So right now, Game of the Year 2020 is going to be Cyberpunk versus Last of Us, period.
So, hot take.
Yep.
Nothing against Keanu. I am not a fan of the way these big budget games seem to be going by bringing in actual actors to basically play. Like, voice actors are fine. Like, Kiefer as Venom Snake. Yeah. I was fine with it. It took a little getting used to. Yeah. Like, but if for some reason Venom Snake was just Kiefer Sutherland with like
if
long
it was
hair,
his face, I would have lost my mind.
Right, but I mean that's an established character. But
and to be fair, you said this about Death Stranding as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is nothing. I'm not hating.
Right,
but I don't think I like it. Now, when I play Death Stranding, maybe I'll just quickly get over the fact that I'm walking around as just Norman Reedus. Because that's literally what... you could say that about any movie that's ever come out. Like,
yeah, but you're not controlling the movie.
And maybe that's it. Maybe it's the fact that you're controlling it.
But that's what worried me about Affleck as Batman, and he turned out to be, in one of the movies, really good.
Like, you're creating this. Like, a movie, especially when it's live action, that's... You have the person, and that's what you have.
Right.
In a game or like any kind of animated movie, you are creating this character. Why would you just have it look... Why would you have it be a person that already exists? That, I think, is what bothers me. And like you can tell a lot of like animated movies. What was I just watching? Sing.
Spider-Verse? Okay.
Matthew McConaughey as I don't remember his name.
I didn't even know it was his. You can't tell that's his voice. Yeah, the koala bear. Yeah,
but like once you know it's Matthew McConaughey, you're like,
yeah,
that's like they kind of make it look like Matthew McConaughey somehow. And I don't know if it's just facial capture, but like you can be like, I can see, and maybe it's just my brain playing tricks on me.
You picture the koala in Interstellar, like.
Like I don't know if it's just my brain playing tricks on me because it's his voice, and therefore I start to see him. But you're like. And it's not just him. Like this happens in like any kind of animated movie. You're like
if it's a big name,
Maui or whatever his name is, The Rock.
The Rock. Like clearly, The Rock is just doing The Rock's voice. He's not changing it or anything. Like Troy Baker,
but also
Nolan North,
you can see it like
voices.
in his face. Like you can tell they're trying to make.
Well, he's got the tattoos too,
and that's fine. But like if you're creating a character from scratch in this game, why would you just? I'm asking this facetiously because the answer is probably no, but would it be any less of a big deal if Keanu Reeves just did the voice of Johnny Silver
Mnemonic? Johnny Silver Mnemonic, yeah.
Like, and yeah, people will probably say, yeah, it would be less of a big deal. But why? Like, why does the fact that it's Keanu Reeves' likeness to go along with his voice make it that big of a deal? Whereas if he was just voicing the character, everybody would be like, oh, cool, Keanu Reeves is doing a voice. But now that his face is in it too, everybody loses their collective minds. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. Maybe I'll come around, but I just don't like it.
Do you remember the videos of Kiefer Sutherland doing Venom Snake going... Do you remember these behind the sign when he had all the balls on his face, and then they show like Kiefer doing all this weird stuff, and they show Venom Snake going, I got a horn in my head, whatever. Just made me think of that. The only thing, and we could be talking out of our butts here because none of us know anything about the cyberpunk history and everything. I don't know if you play as Johnny at some of the things or if he's just an NPC, whatever. I don't know, but like the one thing that's made me think of is that's why, and I brought up last week with Death Stranding. Although I only brought up one of these, it's why this little guy right here, Link, has always been a silent protagonist because even though you can see him and stuff, he doesn't ever talk. So it helps you to project yourself onto that character. Same thing. Two of the most beloved protagonists that are silent in video game history are Link and Gordon Freeman. Gordon Freeman has never said a word. Every day people are saying, where's Half-Life 3?
Now, one thing I will say, even though it's not at all the same thing, I'm thinking back to like Metal Gear Solid 5. And I'm like, okay, yeah, Troy Baker. But I mean, he's known for his voice anyway. But then I'm trying to think of another example.
Right.
I'm trying to think of another example where maybe they didn't just have the actor or actress as the character in the game, but maybe you can see their likeness. And I can't think of any. However, I can't think of her name now, but Quiet is literally
Stephanie Justin.
Like, but nobody really I mean, I don't want to sell her short. I'd never even heard of her.
No one knew who she was before.
I think
Quiet,
she's known now because she's Quiet, so
Correct.
it's not that big of a deal. You wouldn't see Quiet and be like, wait, that's Stephanie Justin. You're just like, oh, that's who plays her? Stephanie Justin. Oh, Stephanie Justin actually is Quiet. They just put her, but like, she wasn't like a known.
It's not
to
like
my
they
knowledge,
put
she was
Scarlet. They didn't put ScarJo as Quiet
exactly,
or something,
yes.
right?
That would just I don't like it. I think that would be weird.
Also, did you see the thing? Random tangent because I have to bring up Sony. There was a report that Kojima apparently contacted Stephanie Justin to be Fragile in Death Stranding and then never called her back. So they went with Leah Sado or whatever her name is.
Really?
Yeah. Because there was all these rumors that she was doing capture and all this stuff for Death Stranding, and Kojima dropped the ball kind of probably like he did with David Hayter in Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't know.
Wow. I did not know that.
So long story long. I'm kind of getting excited for Cyberpunk. I don't know that I'm going to get it. I do think this is a random comparison. I think I'm more excited about Cyberpunk 2077 than I was Red Dead 2. The only reason I'm saying that is these are two games that just like everybody, if you're not a real gamer, if you don't care about these games, blah, 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 I still care. I don't give a crap about Red Dead. I think it's funny that Grand Theft Auto 5 is now outselling Red Dead 2. I know it's discounted and all that, whatever.
Yeah.
Haters going to come out, whatever. But just like...
David?
Welcome to the Cave of Wonders.
I'm so glad that you finally told me what my voice is. That's enough Cyberpunk. It'll be everybody's game of the show, whatever. Spitfarer was announced, and I wrote down, you build a boat, ? I have no idea. It was an indie game. I don't know. Then we saw, by God, Battletoads. The art style to me looks very similar to Streets of Rage 4. You do have 3-player couch co-op. They didn't give a release date, though. I was shocked about that. So they didn't even say 2020. That worries me. But this is one of those games... I hope it comes out on the Xbox One. I think this is one of those things where we may do our first Xbox Let's Play on this channel if this game ever actually comes out.
Yeah.
Because Battletoads was one of those games that we rented between the NES and the Genesis, because I know we rented on both of them at least 10 times.
Until you get to the stupid jet
to
ski
the bike thing,
bike
and then
level,
you can't get out of the
it's
concrete
impossible.
walls. I guarantee they put...
Oh, that'll be in this game.
Yeah. So it looks awesome. Oh, we didn't see Streets of Rage 4 at all.
Oh, yeah. We
On
don't really
anything.
need to, though.
I know, but I just want a date.
Well,
I don't think they've
yeah.
even said a year yet. There was an indie montage, and all I wrote down was, I hate montages. So we're going to skip that. Game Pass is getting Arkham Knight, Metro Exodus, Hollow Knight, and Borderlands Collection. I think, don't quote me, I think it's available now. Don't quote me, though. Game Pass for the PC, they talked about it's $10 per month. There was some rumor going around that it was only going to be $5 a month. And I was like, there's no way in hell they're going to give you that for $5 a month. But you can upgrade to Game Pass Ultimate, which gives you Game Pass on your Xbox and your PC and Xbox Live Gold for $15 a month. Great deal. Just do it, Nike. Then randomly, for some reason, we see Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, I'm going to hate on this because this should not have been at E3. It's kind of cool in a way because it was probably the first game Microsoft ever made, I would assume. The other thing, this may be the most photorealistic game I have ever seen in my life. Oh my God, this was absolutely beautiful. Should have been at E3? Probably not, but you know. Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition's coming out. This game, why does this game need a definitive edition? It's just little like Command and Conquer sprites on the
I don't understand how you play any of these types of games with a controller.
Like, I wouldn't want to play Command and Conquer on
I rented
PS4.
Command.
Red Alert or Tiberian?
I'm trying to think if it wasn't Tiberian Sun. It was either the original Command and Conquer.
Okay.
No, that's what it was. It was the original Command and Conquer. I think I played that before I ever played
StarCraft?
I think before I played Warcraft. This may have been the first RTS game that I ever played when I just rented it on a whim on N64. And I'm like, this is kind of
Before we
cool.
played it on one of our crappy PCs?
I think so. I remember
Wow.
just maybe it wasn't before Warcraft, but it was at least the first Command and Conquer game I played.
Did we have Command and Conquer or just Red Alert on the PC?
I think we had Red Alert first. I may have gone back and gotten Command and Conquer later.
I think they both came out on like 7 discs or something.
Yeah. But these games, they don't work on controllers.
No, I don't
Of
get
all
it.
the games that need to be played with like a mouse and keyboard, this is it.
Yeah, the little bit I played of Diablo 3, which at some point I should get back to that because I kind of liked it, but I can see how grindy it is and whatever. That kind of game works, but these RTSs, I don't get how you play these on console.
Yeah.
Also, they showed Wasteland 3. Okay, I don't know. Whatever. They announced Double Fine has been purchased by Xbox Game Studios. Tim Schafer came out on stage. They showed a Psychonauts 2 trailer. I never played Psychonauts to begin with. Psychonauts 2 to me, am I crazy or did that... It kind of looked like a PS2 game.
It didn't look good.
Like, I guess it's a 3D platformer action whatever game, but like... It didn't look good. Graphics aren't everything. I get that, whatever. People love Psychonauts, so I probably just don't know what I'm talking about. But compare this to like Ratchet and Clank 2016, there's no comparison.
Right.
That was playing a Pixar movie. This looks like a PS2 game. Like an up-res PS2 game, I should say. Then the Star Wars music started up and everybody got hyped, and then they showed us Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. It's coming 2020. The only thing I liked about this was Darth Vader cuts off Luke's hand. Luke goes, ah! Darth Vader goes, oh my God. And he pulls off his hand and gives it to Luke. I just can't do the Lego games. I tried. I can't. Coming out 2020. And the theme, yeah. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It's like an open world Dragon Ball Z game. I care nothing about this. People are hyped. It's just not for me. It's coming out 2020, of course. Then they showed 12 minutes and they said it's coming soon. This is like a top-down game where you're a husband. Did you see this part of the trailer?
Mm-mm.
You're a husband talking to your wife or girlfriend or whatever, your significant other, and you're like, I know what's about to happen. Or no, you're a friend and you're talking about people think you killed your husband. The police are about to come knock on the door. I need you to tell me what actually happened. She's like, what the hell is wrong with you? The police knock on the door. They come in, they kill everybody. And then it's like you're playing through this 12-minute segment of these people's lives over and over again to get more and more clues and all. It looks really cool.
It sounds cool.
So they showed that. I guess that's been shown before, but that's the first time I've seen it. It looks really cool. Then they showed Way to the Woods coming out 2020, and I wrote down it's a deer game. You're deer and you're walking through woods. I don't know. And you're finding the way to the woods, I guess. I don't know. Then this is when I'm really going to have some ranting to do. Gears 5 was up next. It's coming out in September. So, Sean, don't you think they would want to show you what the mother effing game actually is?
You would think so.
It's coming out September 10th. They didn't show a mother effing second of gameplay. Not 1 second. There's a tech test coming July 17th. There's a horde mode test coming on August 19th. Then they're like, oh my God, the stage blew up. The camera goes down here, it goes down underneath the stage, and then here's a TV. It's like aliens all over the walls and stuff. It's like, hey guys, I'm here to tell you about the escape mode, which is a 3-player co-op. And then you know what that trailer was? CG. What in the blue hell are they thinking with? And then they're like, oh, Terminator's a pre-order bonus. Great. We'll get more of that later for some reason. Like I was telling Nick on Twitter, this is the one series that is an Xbox exclusive that I feel like I would like. I don't know how. And I was like, how do they not show gameplays? Nick's like, well, it's the same as the other 4 games. Like, That's not a good thing. Like, how, and like I was telling him, like Metal Gear Solid 5, they showed gameplay a year and a half before they released the game.
Right.
He's like, well, it changed a lot. It did, but the thing is, Metal Gear has changed with every single release. From Metal Gear Solid 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to Peace Walker to 5. There was big elements added to all of these games. Are you telling me these are just third-person shooters and nothing changes except like the guns or something? Like, why the hell are people playing these games? The fact that Microsoft tries to get people hyped about Gears 5 by not showing literally not a single second of gameplay, but showing Xavier Woods and AJ backstage. They're going to play it later. Okay, where the hell's the gameplay? Am I crazy?
That just reeks of this game's not coming out September 10th.
Thank you.
Like, why would you have gameplay available to show and just choose not to? That's what I don't get. That's what tells me something is not ready. I don't know.
That's what I said too.
Odd.
The only thing they showed for the main game, they did the CG stuff for the escape mode and all that other crap. The only thing they showed for the main game was Marcus Phoenix's daughter or whatever going, like it's just a CG thing of her face going. I'm like, what? Who the hell is a fan of Gear? Like, if the first time Metal Gear Solid 5 got revealed and all they showed was Kiefer Sutherland going, I would be like, what the hell is this? Show the game. But like, are Xbox fanboys that desperate to defend Microsoft / Xbox that they think this is a good thing? Like, I don't know for the life of me what Microsoft was thinking with this.
Like, what is the point? It's not like the fact that this game is coming is news to anybody.
Correct.
Obviously, Gears 5 is coming.
Ago,
so what are you getting?
It's coming out literally 3 months from the day we're recording this, and we have not seen a second of gameplay. Actually, less than 3 months. It's the 11th.
Yeah.
I'm boggled. I'm absolutely boggled by this.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish, but
this was where I was like, okay, this conference has been fine. Lots of third-party stuff. Then Gears 5 started, and I was like, here we go. I want to play this game. Then I'm like, all you've done is piss me off. This makes no sense. It's not because I hate Microsoft or Xbox or anything like that. I want to play this series. In your latest game, you don't even show it. I don't get it.
yeah.
All right, moving on. Microsoft's Elite Controller 2 was announced. You can do 3 profiles on it. It's got Bluetooth. Hooray. 40 hours of battery life, and it's $179. So you can buy Stadia and 4 months of service, or you can buy a stupid controller with Xbox. I don't get this. I don't understand. The satellite-looking D-pad thing looks like the worst idea ever. I don't get... I said it when the first Elite controller came out, and I still don't understand it. 3 years later, I think it might have come out 2016. I don't get who this is for. I don't know who the hell would spend this. I mean,
It's like it's a status symbol almost.
it's like if you're a pro gamer or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like if you're a pro gamer, whatever, MLG, bro, whatever, playing Fortnite and Modern Warfare and everything and blah, 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 you're using mouse and keyboard. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know. But they must sell well if they're making a sequel. A sequel to a controller.
Hold on. Bernardo doesn't understand why I'm mad at Konami. Yeah, I don't know. If you like the Elite controller, like, hit the comment section and let us know. But I just don't. Like, Sony hasn't released their own version of these, but there was, what was it called? The Scar. Oh, God. I can't remember the maker of it, but There's a third-party PlayStation endorsed kind of elite controller thing for like $130. I'm like, hell no. I don't want any part of this. What are you doing? Then they showed a trailer for Dying Light 2. It's been pushed to spring 2020. I never played Dying Light 1. Colin loved it. It was probably, I think he might have said it might have been his game of the year that year. I think it was 2015. He loved it. I don't care. It's first-person zombie killing game with parkour. Nope. Verizon. Forza Horizon 4 is getting Lego DLC. State of Decay 2 was shown. Okay. Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming west in spring 2020. Crossfire X is coming in 2020. It's some kind of PC shooter. All they did was show a CG trailer, so I have no idea what the actual game is. Tales of Arise is a JRPG thing that's also coming out in 2020. You're getting the theme here. They showed a Borderlands 3 trailer. They announced the free Handsome Collection DLC is out right now. You should download that, by the way.
I did.
Okay. Elden Ring was finally unveiled, even though it leaked ahead of time. Thanks, Jason Schreier. It's the new From Software game. It is a collaboration with George Railroad Martin. It's a third-person dark fantasy action RPG focusing on the RPG elements. There's character customization. Open world is one of the biggest difference to previous From games. It is also coming out on PS4 and PC, but I don't think they showed any gameplay. There's a lot of screenshots released and stuff, but I don't think we actually saw any gameplay. I just want Bloodborne 2. I'm not playing Sekiro. I just want Bloodborne 2. Then we turn to the next gen-ish kind of stuff, and they talked about xCloud, and I thought this was going to be a really big deal. But again, Microsoft dropped the ball. All they basically said is xCloud is coming in October 2019, and you can turn your Xbox into your personal server. That's literally it. They didn't. That's all they said. So I guess what this means is you can stream Project xCloud on a phone, tablet, whatever, from your from your Xbox One S or X. That is your server. But the whole thing about Project xCloud, I thought, was all this Azure cloud stuff. But you're saying that you don't actually use that. You use your own. It's remote play, which Sony's been doing for how many years now on PS4? Ever since it came out, I think. So that was a huge letdown. I was baffled by that. Then we finally talked about Project Scarlet. And they said, we're basically doing everything Sony's doing. Project Scarlet will have a custom Zen 2 AMD processor with GDR6 something. Frame rates will be supported up to 120 frames, 8K support, ray tracing, because everybody loves... I've seen so many games now coming out on PC. They're like, we support ray tracing. I'm like, y'all are just saying that because Sony said it. There will be a solid state drive, obviously, just like on PS4. There will be virtual RAM on the solid state drive. And like I said, basically it's everything that Sony already said, except they didn't have to go to E3 to do it.
Right.
In an IGN interview, they did say, I don't know if this was Phil Spencer or somebody else, but they said they do have every intention of bringing all 4 generations of Xbox games to the Scarlet. That's cool. Sony's not going to do that.
No.
I'm pretty sure they're just going to bring PS4 games. We won't get 1 or 2 on there. And then we saw Halo Infinite. It is launching on Scarlet, shockingly, which apparently this had not been announced before. It's coming out on the Xbone also. We didn't get gameplay. They announced this game a year ago. Again, we don't get any freaking gameplay. Man, that was Xbox's conference. I am not a hater. I want everybody to do well because it helps everybody if everybody does well. This Xbox conference was a complete letdown to me. What do you think about Scarlet, Next Gen, Halo Infinite, CG this, CG that? I don't know.
It's tough for me to get too invested in any of this because I just don't care about Xbox. Again, I'm not a hater. I just don't care. I'm not going to buy one. So most of these games I don't care about. Like you've said, the lack of gameplay for so many of these seems a little ridiculous. Project Scarlet, it's basically everything we thought it would be. It's the same specs as PS5. I don't know. Nothing really blew me away here.
I am blown away. I can't believe, and we'll get to our predictions later, I really thought we would actually see Halo Infinite. But no, we see Master Chief. He's floating in space for some reason. I have no idea how Halo 5 ended. It seems like people were confused about that actually played Halo 5. So I don't know. But like, it was just this conference to me was lots of third-party stuff that you can also play on PC and PS4. And Scarlett's going to do what PS5 already said they can do, and CG trailers. Yeah. And their biggest game coming out this year, they didn't show a literal second of gameplay.
Yep.
I don't know. Microsoft, you dropped the ball big time, I got to say. And I'm glad when I'm looking on Twitter, I am not the only one that feels that way. That makes me think I'm in the right. I like that. Whew. I'm going to be cottonmouth by the end of this. We're only an hour and 38 minutes in. Well, hour 35, whatever. Bethesda was up next. They announced Elder Scrolls Blades is out. And yeah, well, I mean, I think we knew this already, but it's coming to Switch in fall 19. It's going to be free to play. It's going to have motion controls and all that crap, whatever. They did a Fallout 76 apology. They basically said, we know we screwed up, but it's funny because, thank you for that. In other interviews, Todd Howard basically said, we knew it sucked, but we put it out anyways, so you can kiss my Patukas. Second time I said Patukas. They announced the free update coming out fall 19 for Wastelanders. It will add NPC humans. There will also be a new main quest, weapons, and gear. You can do a free trial right now from June 10th to June 17th. The reason they said the NPC humans is all the other Fallout games obviously had NPCs that you could interact with. Fallout 76, the only people you could interact with were other idiots playing this stupid game. And now they're actually putting humans in there, so cool. They also announced Nuclear Winter, which is a free Battle Royale mode coming out to Fallout, the game that's really known for its combat. Fallout is getting a Battle Royale mode for randomly 52 players. Where do you come up with 52? You can play a sneak peek of this as part of the free week. They also announced they're still working on Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6, but they have nothing to show. Why in the blue hell did you announce both of these stupid effing games a year ago and then say, hey, we're working on these and I'm not gonna see them? Like, why the hell did you... Why... It's so weird from a company that announced that started a trend that I actually like. When Fallout 4 was announced in 2015, they're like, and you can play it in 4 months or whatever it was back, 5 months, whatever it was. Now you're like, we're working on Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield. Play them in, I don't know, 7 years from now. You know?
Right.
They announced Ghostwire Tokyo, which is a paranormal action adventure game. People are disappearing for no reason over in Japan. Okay. Wolfenstein Youngblood trailer. It's out July 26th. Pretty sure we already knew that. Commander Keen, a free-to-play mobile game, was announced. Why? What the hell is Commander Keen? Apparently, this is a pre-existing thing that I've never heard of.
I have never heard of it either.
It's a free-to-play mobile game. It's coming out sometime, and they showed it. Rage 2 is getting an expansion called Rise of the Ghosts. Deathloop was announced by Arcane Studios. They were the guys that did, what's it called? Death the Outsider. What the hell's the game? Dishonored. 2 rival assassins are stuck in a looping cycle where they keep dying and coming back to... It's Live, Die, Repeat. What the hell was the name of the movie before they changed the name?
No.
With Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Who's going to fight Justin Bieber or whatever.
End of Tomorrow? Something.
Edge of Tomorrow.
That was close.
It actually looks pretty cool. That was the one game here other than Doom where I was like, that looks cool. They announced their Orion streaming technology because everybody's streaming. They say they are 20% faster per frame to reduce latency. I have no idea what the hell they're comparing that to. Compared to xCloud or Stadia.
Faster than what?
Or crappy PlayStation Now. Like, I have no idea what they're 20% faster than. 20% faster than what they did in testing. Like, I don't know what that means. They showed Doom running on mobile with, quote, no latency. Yeah, right. Doom Eternal is coming out. Oh, I thought this was coming out in October. It's coming out November 22nd. This looks so freaking crazy. I know I missed out on Doom 2016. I did the demo of it where you can play like the first world problems, but like this just looks even more crazy than that. Like, can you ever imagine when we played Doom in 94 on our crappy Micron,
Yeah.
Doom would eventually look like this with grappling hooks and with it looks so cool. I don't know that I'm going to buy it, but it looks super cool. And they unveiled the battle mode multiplayer, which one guy plays as a Doom Slayer and 2 people play as Doom Demon people and try to kill each other. So that was Bethesda. Anything that sticks out to you there?
Another hot take. Doom ain't doing it for me. Now, I mean, it's...
But now wait. You and I both feel the same way about first-person shooters. We suck at multiplayer. We don't want to play multiplayer. We want a story.
I guess what I'm saying is nothing about this game makes me be like, well, time to get into first-person shooters. Okay. I'm like, I look at it and I'm still like, yeah, it looks crazy. There's a lot of crap going on, but it's a first-person shooter. Are the bad guys cooler looking? Maybe. Are the ways you can kill the bad guys cooler?
Yes.
Maybe. Is there more bad guys on the screen? Maybe. Nothing about it makes me want to jump into a first-person shooter. I don't know. It looks cool.
It looks cool, but like I said, I don't think that I'm actually going to spend $60 on it. But yeah, that's okay. I like that hot take. Metal Gear, nope. Okay, Metal Gear.
Get out. Only the one true king can enter the cave of wonder.
So that was Bethesda. I don't think Bethesda should have a conference.
No, they don't see. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll get to Square in a minute. Technically, I don't really think Square needed one either, but we'll get to that in a minute. There's a couple things there, 3-4 things that were good. Then Devolver Digital was up next. They started by showing some lady ripping out somebody's throat, their trachea, whatever. Like, I don't get it.
They're an odd group.
It's like there's Devolver Digital and Ubisoft are both super weird, but then it's like Devolver's like, we're going to murder people on screen, and Ubisoft's like, we're going to do Just Dance with dancing pandas and all this weird stuff. So I don't know. The only thing from Devolver Digital that matters, they're going super meta. I don't think anybody's going to buy this thing, but they're doing an Enter the Gungeon light gun arcade cabinet that's coming out 2020, of course, because everything is. You can pre-order it for $5,000. I would rather buy every arcade 1-up machine, even if they're smaller than I thought they were, and I got to mount them up and stuff. Then come on. I don't think they really think 5 people are going to buy that thing. I don't even know if that it's real. I almost think it's just a joke that they announced and they haven't included anybody in on. But the only other thing that matters there is we did get another look at the Messenger free DLC called Picnic Panic. It is out July 11th for free on PS4, Switch, and PC.
That's going to be awesome.
Wish we
just watching it and like hearing like the music and stuff from it again. I'm just like, oh God, it was so good. It's beautiful.
So good.
That's great.
They're definitely adding a lot of gameplay elements too. From the surfing stuff, there's a lot of new enemies and everything, and I can't wait. There's still the time, whatever. Spoiler, and not even spoiler. The game's been out for like a year now. The time travel stuff obviously was there in the trailer and everything. I can't wait. Can't wait. So that's it for Devolver Digital. I'm not going to rip out Sean's trachea.
Thank you.
Next up, Ubisoft. Do you say Ubi or Ubi? I always forget. You won't be able to say now that I've asked.
I'm 90% sure I say Ubi, but I think when they first became a thing, I think Ubi. I thought it was Ubi, or I would say Ubi. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure I say Ubi.
You be listening to us on Two Player Co-op. They let off the conference the way they should, showing Watch Dogs Legion. I am shocked, but it's not out until March 6, 2020. All the leaks were true. You really can control, quote, any NPC. It looks awesome, but like I wrote here in the notes, kind of reminds me when Watch Dogs 1 got announced and they said you can hack anything. Like, if they actually live up to what this game is showing, this feels like the first next-gen game, except it's playable on this gen. Like, when we talk about processing power and all this other stuff, not make this pretty, more textures, whatever. No, we want to be able to do more than we could with games this gen. not just to make them look prettier. This is the first game that offers that. If you can really recruit just about anybody, that is so... If they can deliver on what they're showing, it's so cool. Yeah. There is permadeath. If one of your people dies, they are gone forever. The Siri thing, I forget what its name is, Declan or something like that. It's not Declan. Donovan.
Jarvis.
It's not Jarvis. But it seems like your Siri, Cortana, whatever AI thing is actually the main character of the game. No Metal Gear news. One of the leagues said there wouldn't be any guns. No, guns are definitely back. You can blow the hell out of everybody. This looks so good. Stealth looks to be a big part. I want to say a shout out to the DedSec Granny that got recruited as part of this trailer and just... She's like, back in my day. And she's got like a death purse, as Nick tweeted me. It looks so good. The one thing I wonder about is driving on the wrong side of the road. However, this trailer looked like all it showed was people driving on one-way streets, so that would make things easy. I get a lot of, in a different way, Metal Gear Solid 5 / Peace Walker vibes from this, from the whole recruitment thing. Obviously, you're not Fultoning people for DedSec and stuff, but it's... If you... Like Metal Gear Solid 5 and Peace Walker, you recruit people, you Fulton them back to base. If you for some reason wanted to do a mission with them, you could. I don't know why you would, not just be big mess. But this, it seems like you're recruiting people for specific... Like in Metal Gear Solid 5, you could recruit medics, weapon specialists, whatever the different categories were. But this, it seems like it's actually going to matter in the story of the game. I don't know that they can deliver on everything they're promising with this, but I am so stoked for this. I'm actually kind of happy it's delayed. However, it's coming out 3 days after a game that I also cannot wait to play. So I don't know. What do you think about Watch Dogs? You haven't played either of the first two.
No, this one Legion? Definitely... I'm kind of with you there. It definitely speaks to me, but they have some lofty expectations to live up to after this. Terrible timing. To me, it's kind of like... It's kind of like Horizon competing with Zelda that year. Like, I'm like, nah, I'm going to play Zelda and I'll get around to Horizon when I get around to it.
Yeah.
I definitely could see getting this. Again, if it lives up to what they're, I guess promising, at least what they're showing. But it is bad timing. I mean, Final Fantasy is going to take precedent, but
I think even for me it does too. Yeah, we'll get to that here in a minute, but if they can deliver on what they're showing, I'm super stoked. Next up, Brawlhalla. I didn't even know this was a free-to-play game. It's like a wannabe Smash, but they're getting Adventure Time. Does anybody care about Adventure Time?
I don't, probably, but I don't know who.
I don't either. Then randomly, Rob McElhaney. Did I say that right?
I think so.
Came out on stage. He's from Always Sunny, if you didn't know that. They're doing a show called Mystic Quest. It's about a game developer, and it is freaking random. This is Ubisoft at E3. Then they did a Ghost Recon Breakpoint trailer with John Bernthal. He was in the trailer. We knew that already. Then he came out on stage. He brought his freaking adorable dog, which I think the dog wins E3, not Keanu, but that's just me. Did you see the dog?
I did not.
It's like a gray pit mix. It almost looks like a gray Murphy, shorter hair.
No.
Thank you. Exactly. That's why the dog wins. They're doing a beta on September 15th. And again, Terminator. How many games is Terminator going to be in? I don't know. Then they announced Tom Clancy's Elite Squad for mobile. You get characters from different Ubi games like Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, Rainbow Six, and others. Then we got to the freaking Just Dance portion of it. It's their 10-year anniversary. The Wii won't die. For some reason, this game's still coming out on the Wii. I don't know how you play this game on PS4 or Xbox One.
I can't believe people still have a Wii that works.
It won't hook up to Uncle Bob's old TV.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just goes...
I tried loading mine up. I'm trying to think. Was I in my house? I think I was. Oh, I was. What was I going to play? I was going to play Metroid Other M for some reason. Oh. Partially because I just don't remember what that game is like. And it doesn't even... it powers on, but then I get some kind of like your Wii is corrupt. Peace out.
Screw
like it doesn't... Yeah. You're like, there's nothing you can do, and then that's it. So I don't know when it died. Sometime in the last
7 years.
I don't know when the last time I played it was. Probably Skyward Sword, maybe?
Yeah.
It was probably the last
Or
game
Guitar
I
Hero.
got on it. So it died. I wasn't even using it. I don't know if that can cause it to die, but it's not like I dropped it. It was not.
Right.
It didn't die from being overused. So I can't believe people still have a Wii that works.
This was one of the things I was actually looking forward to see is if they're going to go one more year releasing. They're not releasing it on Wii U. They're releasing it on Wii. This is the running joke at every E3 that like the Wii successor came out in 2013, right? Was the Wii U? No, that was the PS3. I think it came out a year after that. Either way,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
the Wii came out in 06.
Yeah.
I think, and they're still putting this. This has to be the only game that's still coming out on the Wii. I will say though, they did the whole dancing panda whatever shit with High Hopes, huh?
Stuff.
No shit. we're 2 hours in, almost. It's fine. They came out to High Hopes, which that
was cool.
It's just awesome. For Honor is getting a limited time event. I don't know why anybody plays this game. It's called Shadows of the. We're gonna get some hot takes now. The longer we go, Shadows of the Hitokiri. It's coming out June 27th, and I couldn't care any less than I do.
No.
Rainbow Six Quarantine was announced for early 2020. It's 3-player co-op. It's a new Rainbow Six game with zombie-ish people. Yes.
Can I just say, I think
Yes.
this is the third time we've mentioned three-player co-op.
Do we need
Because it
a
was
third
there.
chair?
It was.
It was
Was
Battletoads.
it Gears, escape
And
mode,
Gears,
and
yeah.
Battletoads. At least I get that. That makes sense. What are the Battletoads names?
Pimple, Rash, and Zits.
Rash. That was the one I forgot.
Pimples and Zits are the same thing. I've never understood.
Pimples, Rash, and
Pimples, Zits, and Rash is how it should go. But I'm pretty sure it's Pimples, Rash, and Zits, right?
I don't know.
Zits
Is it
gets
like
the
snap,
short
crackle, and pop? Pop, crackle, and snap.
Oh my God. Do you remember the first time that you snapped into a Slim Jim and it didn't snap?
I don't think I ate a Slim Jim until I was in my 20s.
But did you expect it to snap? Because I did. The
No.
first time I had one, it was like, this is just soft. It's just jerky tube meat. They talked about this in the Comedy Button this week, and I was like, oh my God, I want to ask Sean that. If he ever thought the Slim Jim would snap. And
I didn't think it would go
to us.
But I would kind of expect. Here's another hot take.
Yes.
Slim Jims and any kind of beef stick, not very good.
Dude.
What I do like are the one, it's probably the same exact thing, the ones that are like a flat.
It's a pepperoni.
It's like a.
Oh, okay.
It just
It's the
looks
same thing,
like
but it
it's-
looks like jerky more than a meat stick.
Yes, it looks.
What the hell is this podcast?
It looks like less processed or something, and to me, it just tastes better in general.
I love.
But what
Slim
is
Jims.
really the best, which I don't even know if they make anymore, I think it was just beef
Jalapeno?
jerky, but
Oh.
it came in like a chew tin kind of,
No, that was snuff.
and it was literally just like shaved up meat. It
No,
sounds
they
disgusting.
talk about this on the Comedy Button.
Really? I used to love that stuff. I don't even know if
They
they
did.
make it anymore, but
I don't know.
God, it was so good. It's probably disgusting. I don't even want to know how they make it, but that's my beef jerky. Hashtag my beef jerky.
So Rainbow Six, are you gonna play this one?
No. I lost interest in that after
1996.
Not Ghost Recon. What was it called?
Ghost Protocol.
No.
That was Splinter Cell. Oh, R.I.P.
I can't remember what No. I don't know. I'll look it up. But no, I'm not going to play it.
Division 2 trailer. They showed new raid details. There's a free trial and everything coming. What? What did I say?
I think you said details with 2 D's instead of D and T.
The details.
No, it was
D-Dales.
New D-Dales.
There's a free trial from June 13th to 16th. They said that
Rogue Spirit?
no way. Squadron? Rogue Squadron. That's a Command & Conquer game. No, that's a Star Wars
Hang on,
game.
I'm almost there.
The Netflix movie is still coming out with
Rogue Spear.
I remember that. Jake Gyllenhaal and Jessica Chastain. Okay. Uplay Plus. By the way, y'all are going to subscribe to so many of these stupid friggin' video game subscription services that you're going to pay way more than you would actually pay for the games.
Yep.
Uplay Plus was confirmed for PC and Stadia. $15 a month. You get 100 plus games. You can sign up now for a free trial in September. I don't get this. I don't get the EA Origin Access thing. I don't know what you people are doing. Roller Champions was announced. You can do the alpha. This leaked also, but you can do the alpha on Uplay Plus now. There's no release date. I said this looks awesome. I think it's Rocket League meets Disc Jam. I really do think this looks. I could see this blowing up. Did you see this trailer at all?
No.
It's a roller derby, but you're like throwing balls or discs or something through like goals and stuff. Like this looks like. Honestly, what I think they should do for this, whenever it's officially released, is put this both on PS Plus as a free game, like they did with Rocket League and Disc Jam.
Yes.
And Games with Gold for free. Period. Or just release it as a free-to-play game, period, and have people buy skins. Like Rocket League is making money hand over fist, even though a lot of people downloaded it for free when it came out. Whatever that means. This game actually, the cynic in me says, when I saw the leak that they were doing a roller derby game, I was like, Ubisoft makes Watch Dogs. That's cool. I hate this company so much. And then I actually saw this moving, and I was like, this looks super fun. Like, I think this, I'm not going to say, I don't know that we will ever get another Rocket League, but this looks really fun.
Yeah.
And then they closed the conference with God and Monsters, which is coming out February 25th, 2020.
So,
Breath of the Wild meets Greek mythology.
I think out of everything at the time that had been announced up until this point, I think this is probably my favorite. My most looked
we saw like 30 seconds, and I was like,
looks,
this is freaking
now,
awesome.
Again, the timing is terrible.
Well, but it's
it's terrible for
2
me.
weeks at least. Well, no, it's a week. It's a week before Final Fantasy.
Yeah. It's not. It's a leap year. Yeah, it's 1 week before.
Oh my God, that's right.
So I don't know.
You could
It's something I'll probably play. I just don't know when I'll get around to it, but it looks great.
No, it's one of those things where it looks so cool. When I first saw it, before I saw anybody tweet this, I was like, that's Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
When you just see like the slow pan in and all this other stuff. This is one of those games that the first half of 2020 looks like it's going to be incredibly packed, and we don't even know when Last of Us is coming out. I assume it's no later than June.
Yeah.
But this is one of those things I think I will get to next year. It looks beautiful. It looks so cool. No Splinter Cell. Like I tweeted, I tweeted, I think this was word for word what I said. I feel so incredibly bad for Splinter Cell fans. This is coming from an incredibly sad Metal Gear fan. And that was before today happened. Like, I have no idea how you can have probably literally millions of people wanting a new game in a franchise that has been dormant for 6+ years now, and you just ignore it.
Yeah.
No tease, no 3 green dot, just something to let, even if it's a PS5, Xbox 2 game.
What was the last one?
Breakpoint is the Ghost Recon's game. Blacklist, 2013. And that brought a lot of people back because the game before that, I don't remember what it was called. The game before it was a lot more, it was like the Metal Gear Solid 4 of Splinter Cell.
Okay.
And it pissed a lot of people off. Then that game came out and it brought a lot of people back, and now it's just been sitting there for 6.5 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel so bad for stealth espionage action fans right now. It's just insane. I don't get it. Anything else you want to add on Ubisoft, Sean?
Nah, I'd be done.
All right. Well, we're getting to your right now. Next up, Square Enix, which I have written down is the most Japanese-ass conference I have ever seen. I don't mean that in a good way or a bad way. This was just... Do you agree with me? This was crazy. So first off, a day or two before that, we got announced the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC is coming out this winter. It was revealed at the whatever. By the way, they did do they did do another trailer for this DLC again. I don't know what the hell they're doing at Kingdom Hearts Land, but they put out another Kingdom Hearts trailer with no sound effects and just music playing and everybody's fighting and there's no nothing. It's just music and no sound effects. I don't know how this at this point I think they're just maiming us all. I don't get it, but whatever. They led off the conference with what they should lead off with. I'm going to go through all of this and then I'm going to let you talk. They led off with Final Fantasy VII Remake. They did confirm, which was already confirmed, that it is coming out March 3rd, 2020. It is still episodic. I am shocked at that. Let me get to my tweet. Okay. Part 1 will be Midgar. It looks like they're going to expand on Midgar, but we don't know exactly what that means yet. They're doing full prices for each part, release, whatever, which is what we were worried about. However, after seeing this, I kind of forgive them. I'm kind of like, okay, just take my money. Somehow, the Midgar section of Final Fantasy VII is coming out on 2 Blu-ray discs. They've confirmed this in a press release. I don't understand how that's possible. They showed off the new battle style, including tactical mode, which allows you to use different abilities. You have your ATB gauges that fill up while you attack. It lets you use different skills and materia magic. And there's also a bullet time slowdown thing that lets you pick and choose what you want to do. They show the whole Scorpion tank thing, boss fight. They did show Sephiroth. They did show Tifa. I'm going to rely on you to tell me about Tifa because people went nuts like they were announcing Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. There's a deluxe and a collector's edition. The collector's edition is $330 for part 1 of however many parts we're going to get. Jason Schreier then also tweeted today, quote, I just asked Yoshiniro Kitase how many games are going to be in the Final Fantasy VII Remake. He said he can't say yet, quote, because we don't know ourselves, end quote. Sean, I have never been attached to Final Fantasy VII, and seeing this trailer almost brought me to tears. Go.
So, I know we got to see this game, a month? 2 months ago?
It was only a month, yeah.
And at the time, I was kind of like, this looks beautiful, but I'm also like, I hope it still feels like Final Fantasy. And I don't know that we saw we saw more. We saw a longer stretch of gameplay in this, but I don't know that it really showed it. They explained some of the mechanics a little bit. But for some reason, all of a sudden, I'm like, nope, I'm sold. I'm in, just whatever. I do think Midgar is like nowhere near, and I know they're expanding it. Midgar is nowhere near the halfway point of this game. It's like a third. I've seen somewhere in like the quarter to a third of the way through the game.
What I have seen, you correct me on this because I played 30 minutes of this. I've heard people say it's 2 to 3 hours. I've heard people say it's 5 to 6 hours tops.
Like tops, yeah. Okay.
But if they're expanding it,
So I think there's a lot to tell in Midgar.
Okay.
In my head, I'm like, the little you've played, you know how in general Final Fantasy VII plays.
Yep.
You have a screen, like a static screen, and you kind of run through it, whatever. Yep. And in my head, I'm like, Midgar in that game, there's like 10 to 15 screens. But as I'm thinking it, there's definitely a lot more than that. But that being said, Midgar is like it's like a circular. It's like a pizza cut into 8 slices. So there's like 8 sections. Okay. And then on top of that, literally, you have the slums, and then on top of that, you have the well-to-do people living up top, and then you have all the slums down below.
Okay.
You see such a small portion of that in this game. Like Midgar, you get the feeling that Midgar is huge. And what you actually see of it in the game is pretty small. So there's definitely an opportunity to expand on it. Now, what I'm worried about I mean, part of me just doesn't care because it's like I'm so thrilled for this to come out.
Yeah.
Now, I think it'll be weird to have episode 1 on PS4 and then have episode 2 or 2, 3, 4, however many more there are to come out on PS5. But so it seems like these have to come out relatively close to one another. Like if by March 3rd, 2021, all of them haven't been released, I think that's a little ridiculous. I'm hoping it's just 2. It certainly should not be more than 3.
The way
it
that
could
Schreier
be
quote
2.
reads, though, I'm like,
Yeah.
it could be 7, Final Fantasy 7, 7. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm down with expanding Midgar. I think there's a lot more story to tell there.
Yeah.
I think it will also lessen the blow of a certain part in the game because
That happens in Midgar?
No, it's after.
Okay.
It's actually, when I played through it the last time, I forgot how far into the game it really is. But the way they're expanding Midgar, it's going to be real far into the game in this one. So I think
That's going to make you more attached to that character, I would assume, right? Wow. You okay?
I went to just like take a deep breath, and I apparently had a bunch of saliva in my mouth, and it was like, right into my lungs.
Sephiroth gotcha.
But yeah, I don't know.
I'm
I'm a little worried about what the full. I just don't know what to expect with this game. I'm so excited just for part 1. I don't really want it to be more than 2.
Yeah.
I certainly don't want it to be more than 3.
Anything more than 3, I think, is asinine. And I have never played, like I said, more than 20, 30 minutes of the game.
Right, yeah. What else? Oh, I'm trying to think back to what it was now. Tifa is obviously one of the big ones, but there were so many parts where seemingly something just very blah was shown in the gameplay, and the crowd went nuts. Like, they are rebuilding this game, obviously, like from scratch, from the ground up, but still being very faithful to it. Like, every time you heard the crowd like cheer, and you're like, what? What are they cheering at? Like, something they showed or something that was said was like, it meant something. Like the cross slash when you see Cloud's
when he does,
limit
like,
break, he does like
yeah.
like that's
So
exactly
cool,
from
yes.
Final Fantasy VII. People obviously went nuts for Tifa.
Why?
I think just because she's just kind of a badass. Like,
She is? Okay.
Aerith. I wonder if she's gonna be Eris or Aerith in this game. Everybody loves her and you get attached to her and whatever. I think part of it's that she's a female, and so it's like, you know, it's cool to see like this
Right.
like powerful female who can like fight and whatever. I've never been a big fan just because I like to use Barrett because he's got the distance, and I'm obviously going to use Cloud, and I've only got room for one more, and it's rarely Tifa. It's stupid, but part of it's because like she doesn't have a weapon. Like, her weapons you can get, like when you get better weapons through the game, it's like a glove. Like, she literally just punches and kicks stuff. And it's just, I mean, it does the same damage as other people. So whatever, it shouldn't really matter. But I always feel weird like playing against some, like a chimera or like a giant tank and just run up to him and be like, and so I'm like, this is stupid. So I don't really use Tifa that much. She's a big part in the story.
Okay.
But I guess that's the appeal. I'm kind of shocked they showed Sephiroth. I kind of thought they might just.
Yeah. What's the other guy's name? Is it Wedge?
What other guy?
In your party that you can pick from. Wasn't Wedge
Oh,
a guy or
Barrett?
something? No, I know there was Barrett.
So there's Biggs and Wedge. There's usually people named Biggs and Wedge in like almost every Final Fantasy game.
Oh, okay.
In this, it's in the beginning of the game when you're taking out
Yes.
the reactor with Baron.
Yep.
And you have Biggs and Wedge. They're not like a big part of the game.
Okay.
Gosh, I don't know what else. when I saw the collector's edition at first, I was like, oh, and then I saw $330. I'm like,
Never mind.
nope, not going to
For
do
part
it.
one.
And it's like, you don't even get that much.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think the cloud thing you get is probably much bigger than your...
I forget, is it him on the motorcycle?
Yeah.
People were stoked that he rides a motorcycle in this. I have no idea what that means.
Well, that's in 7 too.
Right.
But it looks like that was not a very... That had a lot of potential in the first one, and it's whatever. But I think that's going to be a very...
Was it just a cinematic in the first one?
No, you control it, but it just does not control very... It was a cool visual thing, but it does not control very well, and it's just very monotonous. But I think it's going to be really cool in this one. I honestly just can't believe that this is like finally coming, that we have a date that we may or may not stick to, but like as of right now, we have a date for a game that has been teased ever since like PlayStation 3, like the tech demo, when they showed it and people were like, oh my God, they're remaking it. And they're like, no, whoa. That was just like, look at how good the PS3 looks kind of thing.
Right.
And I don't know if they had it in their mind way back then that they were going to make this, or if people just kept going on and on about it. Yeah. But it's kind of unreal to me that it's finally going to happen.
I think they hit the date.
I think they will.
Because it's only part 1 of 20 or 2 or who knows how many. I think they hit the date.
I just hope that there better not be more than about 6 months in between.
Yeah.
I do not like the episodic thing.
I don't either. I really thought when they announced the date, I was like, it's one game. But then I was like, but even that quick trailer they put out, I know that's only Midgar, so I'm worried. And it turned out it was just Midgar. But the other thing I want to ask you about is the whole battle stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not just a Zelda game.
No.
You know what I mean? But it's an evolution of, because I know we were texting back and forth with Dyke about it, but like, and that's his last name.
It does seem...
You guys talking about it, I'm like, I have no idea what y'all are talking about, so I just defer to you. But.
It does seem more like Final Fantasy 12, which I was hoping for.
Like,
they didn't explicitly say it, but it sounds like there's something kind of similar to the Gambit system in 12.
Okay.
Where you kind of tell your other party members what to do. Like,
you like
if
your gauge
any of your people's health drops below
then heal
50%, then use cure or use a potion. Or if an enemy is weak to ice, use fire. If this, then that. So you can kind of, I don't know if it's going to be a whole system like it was in
12.
Yeah, that was 12.
But was that the Gambit thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think I think they're going to nail it. The only thing I don't like is the whole episodic thing. Part of me is like, I've waited who knows how long to play this. Like, if it takes a year, if it takes 2 years to release all the episodes, okay, so be it. I really...
But why are you charging 60?
That seems a little ridiculous.
But again, I'm a hypocrite because I'm like, I want to play the part 1 for $60. Sure.
Especially because unless they change something, it's not like at the end of Midgar, there's this big, like, cliffhanger. It's like,
just go to the next
okay,
area.
now we're out on the main map. Let's start walking. Like, I mean, there's some stuff that happens, but it doesn't seem like, unless they add something to this game, I think I know.
Don't say it, because the only thing I know is the whole Earth thing. I know nothing else.
I know
about
the
story.
big. I mean, it's not even like a big thing, but like the last big thing that happens, like boss battle kind of thing before you leave Midgar. I remember.
Was it the Scorpion thing or no?
No, that's like the beginning. You probably almost got
Maybe
there.
I did and I forgot.
Or you probably did get there. That thing's very faithful to.
Okay.
They nailed it.
It looks so. It
just seems like there's not a. I have a feeling that when you get to the end of episode 1, it's just going to be kind of like.
Where's the rest?
Yeah, I feel like it's hard for them to end on like a what would seem like a true ending of a game. And I know it's not, it's part of a game, but it's a standalone. This is what you get for now. They've got to end it. I don't know. I'm curious to see how it all plays out. I'm happy we're getting it, so I can't beggars
Right.
can't be choosers, I guess. But and give Square Enix credit, like they're not half-assing this. Like they are doing it all and then some. Like this game is going to be huge. Episode 1 seems like it's going to be huge. Like my God, at least they're
Blu-ray
not.
can hold 50 gigs. If it's
Yeah.
if it's dual later, can hold 100. But like, oh my God.
I mean, at least they're going to do this and they're going to do it right. So I mean, shout out to them. But man, I don't know. I'm just happy we're finally getting it.
Yep, I'm stoked. I wasn't so stoked for the rest of Square Enix, so let's run through that. Life is Strange 2. There was a trailer. It was announced, but I thought this was already out.
I thought it was 2.
I don't understand this game. I guess they're putting it out in like parts. I don't know what they're doing with it. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles coming out this winter for Switch, PS4, and mobile. I can't remember your thoughts on Crystal Chronicles.
I never played it.
Okay.
This is a GameCube thing. I think I
Okay.
missed. Or I mean, it started. I don't know where it went from there, but the first one was GameCube, and I don't know. I missed out on that.
Octopath Traveler is out now on Steam. Except it came out June 7th, which was days ago, so I don't know why we even talked about it. The Last Remnant Remaster is out on Switch now. Like I said, this was the most Japanese-ass conference I've ever seen. Dragon Quest Builders 2 is coming out July 12th. This trailer was way, way, way too long. There's a demo on June 27th. That's cool. Dragon Quest 11.
I will say between Square Enix and Nintendo, I mean, now I've forgotten it, but that Dragon Quest music, which I didn't even know was a thing, they played that same music. Every time there's anything Dragon Quest related, that music was playing. And it was just like, it's good music. It's very Final Fantasy-esque.
Yeah.
But man, I didn't know there was like a Dragon Quest
theme.
Yeah. And man, between this one and Nintendo, I sure heard that a lot.
Well, speaking of Dragon Quest, let's talk about Dragon Quest 11. I wrote this down because with the logo, I don't know how you're supposed to say this game. So I wrote down Dragon Quest 11, Echoes of an Elusive Age S Definitive Edition. I don't know where the S goes. I don't know where the Definitive Edition goes. All I know is that it's coming out on Switch this fall. Circuit Superstars coming out 2020. Did you see this game?
That looks kind of cool.
It looks like RC Pro-Am.
Yes,
It's a
that's
top-down
exactly what I
racer.
thought.
It gives me definite RC Pro-Am vibes. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm actually excited for that. We'll see where it goes. Final Fantasy soundtracks are now available on all audio services around the multiverse. So that's that. They spent way too freaking long on Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers update. Like, all I wrote down was this was really long. This is when I was like, okay. Like, this is when I started tweeting, put the freaking Avengers on the screen or I'm just going to kill myself. Romancing Saga 3 and Saga Scarlet Grace Ambitions are coming west. Yay. I have no idea what the hell any of this is. I've heard of Romancing Saga. I've never heard of the other thing. They announced Final Fantasy Brave Exvius and some other game for mobile. I don't care at all. Then they showed this Outriders game coming out summer 2020. All I know is, like, I think 4 different times they showed this chick in the game looking up, and you see, like, a door is clearly opening and the sun or some light is shining through on her face. They literally showed that part of this trailer 4 freaking times. I was like, what in the hell are you doing? Oninaki's coming out August 22nd. I think this is from the people that did Lost Sphere and the RPG, the Chrono-ish game Switch.
Setsuna?
Yes, I Am Setsuna. I think that's their games coming out August 22nd. Sean, Final Fantasy VIII is getting remastered and it's coming out this year for Switch, PS4, and Xbox One and PC. Thoughts?
I may pick this up.
Okay.
This is a lot of people's like favorite Final Fantasy game, or it's
Wow.
like way up there. I think my first experience with it, which I never really played, but I think maybe somebody played this a lot, and I remember watching it, but I think it was before I had ever even played Final Fantasy X, which was kind of my first Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And so it didn't really do it for me. I don't know. It seemed like overwhelming at the time, but now I think I could probably play it and it'd be fine. One thing I don't like about 8 is this draw system where you don't learn fire, and now you have MP and you can cast fire so many times, and then you run out of MP and you need to use an ether to fill it back up. You just like, if there's a fire enemy, you can draw, and that's your turn, and you will get like 3 fire spells from it. And you just have like a stock of, you have this many fire spells and this many water spells and this many thunder spells. And as you get to like tougher and tougher enemies, you might start getting like Faraga and Waterga and Thundaga and all the like more powerful spells and Flare and all these things. I'm sure in the grand scheme of things, it's probably a small portion of the game and kind of nitpicky. But I may pick this up. I've heard way too many people say very, very good things about this game to where I need to just get over it and try it out. So I may pick that up. If it's, I mean, depending on when it comes out. If it comes out at a good time where
right,
I'm at a lull, then I might pick it up. But
okay,
we'll see.
And then Square ended the conference the way we all thought they would with Marvel's Avengers trailer. It's coming out May 15th, 2020. The beta is exclusive to PS4 if you pre-order it. Also, PS4 is getting, quote, unique benefits, whatever the hell that means. They're making us think that Captain America dies in this A-Day incident. The whole game takes place 5 years later. That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say right now, Captain America's not dead.
No.
Why the hell would they make a big deal about the voice cast? Speaking of voice cast, Iron Man / Tony Stark is played by Nolan North. Hulk / Bruce Banner is Troy Baker. Thor / Thor is Travis Willingham. Black Widow / Natasha Romanoff is Laura Bailey. And then Captain America is whoever poor Jeff Shine is. I think the voice cast is better than this game, but we'll get to that. They didn't show any gameplay because it's E3 2019. They did say there will be no loot boxes. There will be no pay-to-win microtransactions. It's a live service game. You can play single player or you can play co-op with 4 friends. That's not right. You can play up to 4 people. New heroes will be released as this game goes on. They will be free. They did show Hank Pym at the end. They did not show... Wait.
Kevin.exe.
Wait, Intellivision is holding an E3 press conference next year.
What?
Wario just tweeted it. Okay. Hank is Ant-Man's... Michael Douglas is Hank, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's what confused me about this. And then Intellivision. At the end, we see Tony and Bruce talking, but now all I can hear, going back to our previous conversations today, like 5 hours ago, I just hear Troy Baker talking to Nolan North. I don't hear Bruce Banner talking to Tony Stark. I am so conflicted on this game, and I saw this article from Eurogamer, and I just kind of want to read from it right now, and then we'll talk about this. And then the Avengers. You recognize the uniforms? The air of mild peril? But who's wearing Captain America's outfit? Whose voice is that coming from Iron Man? The panic starts to rise a little. Who are these people wearing my friend's clothes and borrowing their banter? The final guitar clash was pure horror. What have you done to Paul Rudd? Paul Rudd, it's Hank. Gosh, faces are important. It's bad enough when games don't have the right voices, when it's Jim Hanks instead of Tom Hanks, or when it's Frank Stallone. But the Avengers didn't have the right faces either. They didn't have the right faces, but crucially, fatally, they had everything else. So there was this familiarity in the costumes and the relationships, and then who the hell are these strangers? Maybe it'll work. Spider-Man worked for Insomniac, but they ditched more, carried across far less, and were comfortable in their own sense that they were doing their own take. Marvel Spider-Man, but really Insomniac Spider-Man. Crystal Dynamics are a great team, I think, and I felt for that team last night as they bounced their presentation off the hollow basins of an LA theater. The recipe, but blah, 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 blah. The volumes were wrong. The recipe was wrong. The door rolled up and the smoke poured forth, and I did not recognize the silhouettes. I am so... This did not go, to quote The Last Jedi, this did not go the way that I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
Now, is it our fault, and I'm not including you in this, but fans' fault that, like, I think in my mind I expected to kind of see something that looked like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and ScarJo and...
I did, but I didn't. I love everything you just read because that's so spot on. Because that's kind of what I thought. I'm like, who are these people? Where
are my Avengers?
But what's weird is I not once, never, ever, ever felt that about Spider-Man. It's like Yuri has personality. It's, I mean, you know, the Peter Parker, I guess. That version of Peter Parker. And Miles, for that matter, and Aunt May, and literally everybody in that game. I'm like, they all look different than who I'm used to, and
it works.
These people
more
just
than
look
worked. It was awesome.
So like generic, and maybe it's just early. Maybe they'll fix it, but other than maybe Black Widow, who I can get by with
Kinda.
her, and I guess Bruce Banner, because who cares about Bruce Banner? When he's the Hulk, he looks fine. But Thor and Tony and
Cap,
Steve,
am I crazy, or do they all look like the same person with different hair and facial hair?
They all look. Why is Captain America so fat?
Right. And old.
I'm so
He's got
confused.
wrinkles everywhere. I'm like, what is happening?
I don't know. The suits aren't flattering.
The suits, the one suit
Iron Man
stood
looks
out
okay.
to me. Yeah, Iron Man looked like
Thor
Iron Man.
looks ridiculous.
Yes.
Cap
but Captain
looks
America was like,
ridiculous.
what the hell is this? What the hell have you done? People are complaining about Hawkeye. Get the hell out of here. I don't care about Hawkeye.
Now, I mean, this, if ever anything was in dire need of what will heretofore be known as
MCUing?
No, the Sonic treatment. My God, does this need the Sonic treatment? And I would think it's an easier fix because you just kind of update the characters and then everything else falls into place. Whereas Sonic, you need to remake every time you have him
make
in
it
there.
in the video game engine, yeah.
Right. So this seems like it would be an easy fix, but my God, this game should be unbelievable. This should be... I wouldn't say it should be. This could be better than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It should be a great game, at least. I don't care how good this game is. If it plays just as well as Spider-Man, I cannot play as these people.
No.
They look ridiculous.
Thank you. That's why I'm so conflicted on this game, because I assumed as soon as it started, like, I got up out of my chair and I stood up.
When you
I put
first
my
hear
hands on my
Tony,
mouth
I'm
and was
like, well, when you first hear Tony, I'm like, okay, I know that's not Robert Downey Jr., but it at least kind of sounds like him.
And then
then
you see
Iron
his
Man
face.
looks like Iron Man, and then he takes his helmet
I'm
off,
like,
and then all of a
who
sudden,
the
I'm
hell is that? And then when he's fighting with, he's got like long flowing locks. I'm like, what the hell is this? That is not my Iron Man. Hashtag not my Iron Man.
You can show that 5 years has passed without just having
making
everybody
their hair
just
long.
grow their hair out. Like,
shout out
Thor
to Ernie,
looks
by the way.
ridiculous.
Ernie's on my side and your side with this too. He's like, this does not look good. Like,
no.
At best case scenario on this game right now, I'm conflicted. Worst case scenario, I don't want any part of this. Like,
Yeah.
And we haven't even seen what this game actually is.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I'm sure there was some gameplay in there, kind of like when they revealed Jedi Fallen Order. I was like, I think there's some gameplay in this trailer, but I don't know what. I think there's some gameplay in this Avengers trailer, but I don't know what. And like, these people just don't. This is like, it's like the opposite of Uncanny Valley. Like, if they would have done Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
and all that, and ScarJo and everybody else, but like they just looked weird, that would have been weird enough. These people look like,
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
it's like the fake Batman in Dark Knight just running around as Batman. Like, this, I don't know. I'm going to say right now, I hope this game gets delayed.
They need to. I don't even know that it needs to be delayed.
It needs to be fixed, which
It
I
needs to be
assume would be a
fixed.
delay. Yeah.
They've got a year. It doesn't seem like it should take that long.
No, they got a year. Yeah.
You got the
Yeah,
right.
they got a
I mean,
year, yeah.
you nailed the cast.
That's the thing. I think that. Thank you. I think the visual representation of these heroes is doing a disservice to this freaking voice cast. You
Yes.
have 4 of the absolute best voice actors in all of gaming history working on this project, and then you give them these freaking just stupid doofy looking faces where like I can't, like I knew it wouldn't, like I knew it wasn't going to be Robert and Chris and whatever and what the hell's Bruce's name, his real name,
Mark Ruffalo.
Like I knew it was going to be them, but like this is just something's not right, and Cap's armor looks so stupid. I don't get it at all. This is not at all how I thought I would come out of this Avengers trailer.
Yeah,
I've been hyped for this for like
as
3
soon as
years.
they showed like San Francisco, I'm like, well, this has to
This
be
is
it.
Here we go.
And then
And it was when I saw, like you said, when I saw Iron Man, I was like, cool. And then I was like, what the hell is that? And then Cap's like, just got too much Sharma. Like, what is happening?
Oh God, I think it can be fixed. It's just,
and maybe at the end it won't matter, but like, Endgame came out what I don't even know what day it is. 2 months ago, and we've been with these characters for 11 years, and then you give us this. Like, you should be riding the coattails of Endgame, and you are lighting those coattails on fire. I don't know what else to say. It's just, this is not what I expected.
Yeah.
This did not go the way I thought it was going to go. I feel like Captain America is going to drink green boob walrus milk juice on a freaking cliff, and then like yell at the nuns that look like fishes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything else on Square?
No.
All right, main event, Nintendo. They led off, before the conference, they announced that Pokemon Sword and Shield in a Direct will be coming out November 15th. Great. For some reason, they led off the conference with Dragon Quest XI. I guess his name is just the hero. He's coming to Smash summer 2019. Cool. And then even though Square just did a trailer the day before, they do another Dragon Quest XI trailer, and now they finally say the release date is September 27th. I guess Nintendo was like, mother effer, you can't say this at your conference. Then Doug Bowser comes out, but first Bowser came out, and this was hilarious, and it made me laugh. I'm like, okay, I don't think anybody will ever be Reggie, but I at least like the way that this is starting.
There's no way, nothing against Doug Bowser, but there's no way his name did not help him get hired. Like, how does a guy who's at least qualified for the position...
Have we looked up his real name? Is that his real name?
I mean, I haven't questioned it. I assume, but I mean, maybe it's not. But like, I mean, unless somebody named Mario interviewed,
Mario,
like,
hi guys, my name is Mario Luigi.
I don't know. That's just, I mean, it seems too good to be true, but I honestly never even questioned it. But maybe it's not his name.
I think it's his name. But
It's got to be.
Yep, it's his real freaking name.
Like,
you're born and you're like, well, okay, I'm going to run Nintendo one day.
but yeah, I like that. That was good.
It was a very good Nintendo-ish moment, and I really liked it. Then they went into a Luigi's Mansion 3 trailer. It's coming out 2019. They didn't name a date. Everybody's saying it's got to be October. It's got to be right before Halloween, but we'll see. I like how Luigi said, Mario, Mario. You got new abilities for your Poltergust-00. You can play co-op with Gooigi. I guess Gooigi has been in some game before. I don't know what.
Hey.
And there's a Scare Scraper co-op mode. It looks like you can play with like 6 people or something. I don't really know. I forget. Have you played any of the Luigi's? Any of them? The other two?
I have not.
Okay. Oh, man.
This kind of looks fun.
Hot
I'm not
take.
saying I'm going to get it, but it looks fun. I still don't really know what you do.
You suck them up and spit them out.
I guess, but like, I don't know.
It's
It
Ghostbusters
looks
with
fun.
Luigi.
I don't know. It's promising, I guess.
It does. It looks fun. I've never played any Luigi's Mansion, so I don't know if I'm speaking out of my Mario or what. But then they showed Jim Crystal Snow. Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal game. I don't give a crap about this. Moving on, we get to the real main event of the entire E3. Link's Awakening. The leaks were real. It's coming out September 20th. Perfect. Abso-freaking-lutely 100% perfect date.
So, a couple weeks ago, It finally hit me that I was like, I was so stoked for this game, and then all of a sudden I was like,
do I even like this?
I don't know that I'm down with this. Not so much the graphical style, but Link.
And then?
And now I'm somewhere in the range of I don't care to I love it. Like it works. This wouldn't have worked, and I don't know why. Maybe it's how they designed the rest of the game, but like if you drop that Link into like Link Between Worlds, it looks weird. And it's not like this game overall looks way cartoony compared to Link Between Worlds. Maybe it's just that I've gotten used to it, but like I'm down with it. I kind of like it.
It's that whole like I guess they're calling it like a diorama style. Like you almost put these like it's almost like you're moving them around. I like when I saw the first Link's Awakening trailer at that direct a few months ago. When I knew what was happening, literally every hair on my body stood up, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then I was like, "Oh, that's weird." It's 2D Zelda though. I don't care. And I was like, "Do I really like this? I don't know." Link's eyes are weird, and he's basically an amiibo walking around. I'm to the point now where I really do like it.
Yeah,
but it's coming out September 20th. The color dungeon from Link's Awakening DX is in this game. They did confirm that. For God's sakes, my prediction from a couple years ago finally kind came. It's been a long podcast. Finally kind of came true. They're putting a dungeon.
I like
maker
that
in this.
they're
setting the groundwork. By the way,
testing the
I'm
waters.
taking the prediction next year. You're not. We'll do it together. It's fine. But I predicted it like 2 years ago. It's finally going to come true. This looks so cool. So, but so I watched the Treehouse Live thing, and it seems like you can't just do this mode. You have to play the game.
You like find or unlock.
Yes.
But it sounds like you just get rooms.
Yes.
And then you kind of put them in whatever order you want or something.
So you get, the way it works is you see like your empty, you should go to youtube.com/2playerco-op to see what we're doing with our hands. You go over here and like on the screen, you see like an empty like heart made up of all these different squares. And that's your dungeon. And then as you go through the game, I didn't hear, I was watching it on mute, so I don't know what they said, but it's, you can earn different, what they're calling chambers, I think, is each room that have, like when you look over here, you can see where you come in from, where you can go out from, if it's a locked door, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you piece them together to make your own dungeon. You can go down to get special power-ups and stuff. You've got boss keys, you've got regular keys.
So do you have very little freedom? Maybe not very little freedom, but...
No, I think you're right, yes.
If there's a room that you come in from the bottom and you can leave from the top or to the right,
you
need to then find one that's got a left entrance. So you're kind of, it's not like the rooms adapt to fit however you put them in. So it sounds like, I mean, I would not call this Zelda Maker, but it's a step in the right direction.
It's proof of concept for the eventual Zelda Maker that I have believed for 3 years now that we're going to get.
Yeah.
Also, if you order the Link Amiibo, which I will be doing as soon as it's up on Amazon, I need to order that. It's coming out September 20th. So is Snake. Thank you, God. The Belmonts aren't coming out till later this year or early next year. I forget. But if you use the Link's Awakening Link Amiibo, you can add Shadow Link as a boss to your Dungeon Maker thing. And the other Zelda Amiibo, like this guy here and like the one I got you can use them. They haven't said what they do yet. I'm not more excited for this than Breath of the Wild. I know I'm prisoner of the moment right now and all that stuff, but like my bread and butter are 2D Zelda games. Top down 2D is, you can't even say 2D anymore. Top down Zelda games.
This game, I have pretty fond memories of Link's Awakening.
Okay.
And there are a lot of people that like that game a lot more than I do. Yeah. That game was somewhere in the great to fantastic range in spite of the Game Boy. Like, this game, I will say this will be better than Link Between Worlds. I don't know if it'll be better than Link to the Past, but I bet it's better than Link Between Worlds.
If that's it, then it's my game of the year.
We
We
can
end everything else.
I have very high hopes for this game, and I'm not even worried about it. Like, this game is going to be amazing.
It's like I almost didn't want to watch the Treehouse Live thing, but it was funny. Like I was texting you. Like, I've only played Link's Awakening for maybe an hour or two at the most. But just walking around the world, I was like, I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. I can't believe I'm seeing this like this. And this game just... September is perfect. I was so worried. Actually, I was worried this was going to be a November game, but once they said Pokemon was November 15th, I'm like, okay, it's earlier than we think it's going to be, and September is absolutely perfect. Depending on how some of my personal stuff works out, I might have a lot of free time then, which I will plow through this. Damn it, I wish we got achievements. We'll get to predictions here in a little bit. Anything else you want to add on Zelda for now?
One thing I'm sure you noticed, I had forgotten, but did you notice that your favorite boss fight is in this game? I had forgotten.
I forgot. I did. I saw it when they were doing the Dungeon Maker thing. I was like, I didn't know that son of a bitch was in this. I hate Moldorm so much. Why? But do you remember how it goes? Like, can he knock you down a little?
I think it's just if you fall, you just lose health, and I don't think it's like the
he
other
doesn't
one where
reset.
I don't even think you leave the screen. I don't think it's like that. I think you just
reappear and you blink.
I could be. It's been so long since I played this,
I hope
but
so.
now they may change that in this. But I think in the original, it was just you fall and you lose health. I could be wrong completely, but
it was one of my favorite moments when we did the Versus episode of Crusader Senti versus Link to the Past, and we beat that guy.
Did we actually beat that?
We both go. It was like we beat the last boss in Cuphead or something. I hate Moldorm. The rest of that game is not difficult, but Moldorm sucks. Next up, they announced a remake of Trials of Mana coming out early 2020. But wait, there's more. Collection of Mana is available on Switch today. This includes Final Fantasy Adventure, which became Adventures of Mana on the Vita. I forget, did you play that at all when you had my Vita?
Nope.
Secret of Mana and Seiken Densetsu 3, which is Trials of Mana, never released in the West. So we're getting it as part of the Collection of Mana that's out right now, and we're getting a remake of it early 2020. It's the art style that I love from Adventures of Mana, and I think people crap on the Secret of Mana remake for no reason. I like it. I think it looks good. Are you interested in going to the world of Mana with these?
I'm interested, but again, it's like I don't know. I just don't know when. No, there's not enough time. Like, and it's only getting worse every year because there's still games from last year that I want to play. There's probably games from a couple of years before that I want to play. Yeah. Like, my backlog is only getting bigger, and it's going to continue. Like, and it's kind of depressing. Like, I don't like seeing so many games that I want to play and knowing that I can't. Right. That I just only have time to play so many of them. So I don't know. I may never play it, but I want to. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know if we'll have time.
But Beth, yeah. Switcher 3 Complete Edition was announced.
I cannot believe
this year.
I mean, I don't care.
You could tell if you looked at the trailer, you could tell it was downgraded, but like it's still
that game is
portable
massive.
Witcher. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm happy for all the Witcher fans. I'm sure everybody's going to go back and play it again. I won't. Fire Emblem 3 Houses it's coming out July 26th. I feel like we already knew that. I couldn't care less. Resident Evil 5 and 6 are coming out fall 2019. This was beyond weird because they showed people in an abandoned house playing the Resident Evil 1 remake on the Switch, but then they used that to announce 5 and 6 coming. I was like, what?
Well, so I was kind of maybe... So is that already out? Resident Evil? So 0 and 1 remake and there's
4.
Was it 4? That's what it was? So those are already out and they've been out.
And now 5 and 6 are coming.
Okay. I didn't know if maybe that was... If I had just missed that and they're like, by the way, these are all out now.
That's why...
And 5 and 6 are coming soon.
And that's why it's confusing and why this trailer made no sense. This is the only time we saw Capcom this whole friggin' thing, by the way.
Wow. Yeah.
No RE8. No, yeah.
Ugh.
No More Heroes 3 is coming out 2020. Cool. My God, what have they done? Contra Rogue Corps. By the way, God damn it, Greg Miller. He called this Contra Rogue Corps multiple times. I'm like, you are an educated person. What in the blue hell is wrong with you calling this corpse? Contra Rogue Corps, not Hardcore, is coming out September 24th. I wrote down, it looks like Housemarque except bad. The only thing I will say, Damon Hatfield did confirm.
Yeah.
He went backstage. Did you see his tweet? It was for some reason their trailer was running in 360p. He said the game looks a lot better than that, and he'll have more information in the future. So if you're excited for this weird-looking ass Contra game, just know it doesn't look as bad as it looked, at least from a graphics perspective. Gameplay might suck. They also did announce that the Contra Anniversary Collection is available right now. It's out for PS4 and Xbox One as well. Daemon X Machina is coming September 13th this year. Yay. Panzer Dragoon, never thought I would say that name again, is coming out this winter. It is a remake of the first Panzer Dragoon. I didn't realize multiple games in this series have come out. There was a game that came out on Xbox One.
I knew there was two, but I didn't know.
A game came out on Xbox One at launch, and it sucked, apparently.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Pokemon was on there. The Pokemon plus Pokeball thing is compatible with Sword and Shield. Moving on. Astral Chain, the new Platinum Games game, is coming out August 30th. Empire Sin was announced as coming out 2020. It's a John Romero game. It's a strategy game set in Chicago in 1920. Looking at this trailer, I would have never... The word strategy would have never come to my mind.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 had a trailer. There's an expansion pass coming with the Marvel Knights, X-Men, and Fantastic Four this fall. Kevin watched the Treehouse Live presentation. This game, is 20 years too late for us.
I am torn on this game.
Okay.
Because as of right now, it looks more enjoyable than Avengers. However, I've never played any of the Ultimate Alliance games, but what it reminds me of is it looks like it's going to kind of just play like all of the Lego Marvel games or any Lego game in general. Like big cast of characters.
Ridiculously huge cast.
It just seems like probably very simple controls. You probably have like a punch, a jump, and like a...
It's an arcade brawler.
Yeah, and I've tried so many times to get into those Lego games, and I just get bored with them very quickly.
Yeah.
And so part of me, I was watching it, I'm like, this game looks like a lot of fun. But then I'm like, I was trying to think of what it reminds me of, and it reminds me of like Lego Avengers and Lego, all those Lego games, just not Lego. And I have never been able to get into them. So I don't know. Maybe I'll need to do some research, but as of right now, to me, it looks better than Avengers.
The only thing I think comparing this to Lego is Lego was always about collecting the little Lego like one circle piece things. Whereas this doesn't have that. This really seems like this is an evolution, and I didn't play any of the other Ultimate Alliance games either. This seems like an evolution of the X-Men arcade game to me. Like, I think if this was 20 years ago and we were still both in high school, middle school, whatever, and this game came out and we could just play together, I feel like we would play the hell out of this game. But we're both adults now. Things are different. Like, I don't want to play this game by myself. I would want to play this with you, but like, okay, hey man, are you getting on? Well, you know, the baby's crying, and well, I've got my 4 kids are crying and whatever. Like, it's just like life is so much different now that I don't know that this fits for me. But I agree with you. I think at least the moment-to-moment gameplay of this seems fun. I think the way they keep it fresh and not get stale from just punch, punch, kick, punch, punch, kick, punch, punch, super move, whatever. At least in the gameplay they showed, it seems like you're getting new heroes all the time and villains and like the freaking Sentinel gets an Infinity Stone,
right? And
then he's like Super Sentinel and stuff. I'm like, this. I think it looks cool. I don't know that I'll end up getting it.
Yeah.
Cadence Hyrule is out June 13th. I don't know why they didn't just say it's out today. Why they have to wait 2 days? I just think that's weird. Mario and Sonic are still at the Olympic Games. Comes out 2019 November. I changed the name there a little bit. Animal Crossing New Horizons is delayed to March 20th, 2020. I just like the date. I could not give any craps less about Animal Crossing. I've never played one, so maybe that's my fault. But every time I see an Animal Crossing game, I'm like, what the hell do people see with this? Have you played these at all? I don't.
Nope.
I just don't get it, and I don't want to get it, honestly. But got delayed till March, and Nintendo put out an article on IGN, or they did an interview or something where they said, look, we're not going to work. They basically said we're not going to work our guys to death to get games out at a certain date. Good for them.
Yeah.
And also, if it makes the game better, great, delay it. I'm fine with delays. Next up, I have a montage I couldn't keep up with, and then I wrote, thanks, IGN. Spyro Reignited Trilogy's out September 3rd. Hollow Knight Silksong's coming soon. Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch coming out September 20th. Minecraft Dungeons Spring 2020. Elder Scrolls Blades Fall 2019. My Friend Pedro June 20th, 2019.
That game looks kind of fun.
I don't remember what it is.
It's the one where the art style's kind of, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like, it's all like fighting, but like crazy movie fighting. Like there's this one where you're like punching a guy and you like, I'm trying to think. There's like a basketball and then you like punch the basketball and it hits the guy in the face. It's like movie, like stunt scene, coordination, fight scene. It looks ridiculous, but it looks fun.
In a good way. Yeah. Doom Eternal is coming soon. The Sinking City's coming out fall 2019. Wolfenstein Youngblood's coming out July 26th as well. Dead by Daylight September 21st. Alien Isolation for some reasons coming out this year. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles coming out winter 2019. Dragon Quest Builders coming out July 12th, 2019. Stranger Things 3 The Games coming out July 4th, 2019. Just Dance 2020 is coming out November 5th on my birthday. God, I don't want that game for my birthday. It's 19. Catan is coming out June 2019. Super Lucky Tales coming out fall 2019. And Dauntless coming out late 2019. Banjo-Kazooie's in Smash fall 2019. I've never played Banjo. I don't get it. I don't like collectathons. Or does this excite you at all? Is this going to make you play Smash again?
I liked Banjo-Kazooie. I don't care that it's going to be in Smash.
Okay.
But I liked those games. They were fun.
And then what I assumed was just going to be Metroid Prime Trilogy coming to Switch turned out to be all these mystical graphics on screen. And Sean and I are texting each other and we're like, what is happening? Good God Almighty, he's broken in half. Breath of the Wild is getting a sequel. It's in development. From what we saw real quick, Zelda got her a nice, cute little haircut. Somebody on Twitter said it looks like He-Man. She looks like He-Man from the back. Clearly, it's going to be darker. To me, it screams Majora/Twilight. It did come out in an interview that the same director of Breath of the Wild is working on this. Hidemaru Fujibayashi. When I'm going to be way too hopeful on this game, but what do you think about the trailer, and when do you think we're actually getting this game?
I don't think we're getting this. I'm going to say March 2021.
4 years after it. That seems crazy, right? Right. That seems like it's 3 years, but it's 4. And
it could be next March, but
no. But I do. It won't. Well,
next fall,
it would surprise
maybe?
me. It would surprise and shock me. But my prediction is somehow next fall.
Maybe.
The only reason I say that is because I'm at this point. I think Prime Trilogy apparently is never coming out. What the hell are you doing, Nintendo? But I think Prime 4 is fall. How many years in advance are we now? I think Prime 4 will be fall 2021, which could line up to, like you said, it could line up for Breath of, and we don't know if it's going to be Breath of Wild 2.
You think Prime comes out after this?
Yes, because they've already built this world. It's like the whole Majora's Mask thing. Like they're using the exact same world, the same engine.
Well, I don't know. Do you think they're using the same world? The same engine.
They show that wide shot where they show Hyrule Castle like start to raise up or something. I'm like, that is the Breath of the Wild Hyrule. That is the exact same world.
I get that, but I can't imagine they would just have it be set in the same exact.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Like,
that would kind of suck. Like,
yeah,
Ocarina, Majora's Mask. It was Termina and Hyrule, so obviously they're different. But yeah,
right. I don't know. They're going all. It seems like they do that in most Zelda games, where the castle is like whatever. But there's no way you can just have it be in that same Hyrule. So I'm excited. However, and it still could happen, I was hoping the next Zelda was going to go a little bit more back towards its roots. And not to say it can't happen.
it still
but
could. Correct.
I want
we don't know
like
anything
a
about
forest
it.
temple and a fire temple. I
want
just
8
giant
to 10
robotic
dungeons.
animals
Yeah.
where it's just puzzle solving and no real...
No,
and like
enemies,
4
basically.
basically identical bosses. And so I don't know. I wouldn't have any problem with it still being in that same world. Although the issue is your world is already in ruins. So the easiest way to do it in the same world is to say,
Everything's broken.
Yeah, but everything's starting out broken. So
Yeah.
you can't break it more. So I just don't know how you have it in that same exact world. I don't know.
2 questions I have, and I don't know what I think either way. Do we get to play Zelda in this game? My hunch.
I bet you play as
50-50,
her.
I think. I don't think she's the main character, but I
Yes,
think you'll
exactly.
play as her for
Yep.
part of it. Maybe they do a co-op thing. I don't know. Who the hell is that bad guy thing? My initial instinct?
Zombie Ganon.
No. Zombie Hero of Time. It gives me vibes of the thing in Twilight Princess when you would fight Dead Link from the first Zelda to learn skills and
Okay.
stuff. I don't think I don't know that we ever did see Link and this guy on screen at the same time. So I'm not going to the point where I think this is just a game where you play the whole thing as Zelda and Link has been taken over by Calamity, whatever. I don't know. Calamity Twilight. I don't know what it's going to be.
My issue is I would find it, and I've said before, I would have no problem playing as Zelda.
Yep.
Do not give me Linkle.
Linkle.
It's not a sexism thing. I don't want Linkle. I'm fine playing as Zelda. It's just Linkle is stupid. However, my issue is it just wouldn't make sense for Zelda to pick up a sword and shield. I don't think if you play as Zelda, to me, it's not going to feel like a Zelda game, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
She's going to be more like magic. I could see it kind of being split.
It could be like Kratos and Atreus.
That could work. I was thinking
or
more
Joel
just,
and Ellie, whatever.
Yeah, I was thinking more like, almost like Leon and Ada, where you're Link for most of it, and then maybe there are parts where you control Zelda.
For an
but
hour, you go.
The whole game should not be Zelda.
The other thing I will say though, if it's Zelda's Adventure, whatever they end up calling this, that's fine. I don't want to bait and switch. If this is going to be a game where we finally play as Zelda, say that from
Advertise
the
it as
beginning.
such,
Yes,
yeah.
don't do some Metal Gear Solid 2 Kojima BS crap which I was still worried about up until I actually played Breath of the Wild. I was like, I have no problem playing as Zelda, but don't sell this as like this adventure with Link, the best Zelda game ever made, and then you don't play as Link for all of it. So I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. This kind of feels like a game where we're not. This kind of feels like a non-Ganon game, especially if it is an actual sequel to Breath of the Wild. It seems like we have vanquished Ganon forever.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can actually do that, but or maybe it's what the hell's his name from
Aghanim?
Skyward Sword?
Oh.
Demos.
Demise.
Demise. Yeah. I kept going with D words. I never thought they would say we're making a sequel to Breath of the Wild. Never would have thought that. That came out of completely out of left field to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of how they... The only thing I can think of is when they show Hyrule Castle going all
Up.
Sokovia.
Levitating. Oh,
maybe it and therefore Link and Zelda and whoever are actually being like pulled into like another world.
Skyworld.
Maybe.
Skyloft. Is that what it's called?
Skyloft.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's literally just lifting up.
Right.
I assume there's some portal. I don't know. I don't think this game just takes place in Hyrule as we know it. Now, what would be cool is if, not that it hasn't been done before, do some time travel stuff. Let's go
Baby
to the past.
Link. Yeah.
Go back to non-ruins Hyrule. Give me that world, but have Temple of Time still be have all these ruins be their original like building. Like that would be fantastic because the game needs to be that open.
Yep.
You need to still be able to just see stuff and climb and just go wherever you want. It needs to be huge and open. But if you can have that same Hyrule, but go in the past somehow, that would be awesome. And then that allows you to still somehow be fighting Ganon.
The other thing I will say, just in the 6 hours or whatever since we watched this, well, no, a lot longer than that. I want to go play Breath of the Wild right now. I want to start a new save. Now, I'm not going to do that because Bloodstain's coming out, then Mario Maker, but like I feel like at some point this year, maybe after Mario Maker, if I get my fill of that before we get to like Link's Awakening, I'm like,
it's the
I kind of want to start it over.
Where I might start it over knowing full well I won't play it more than a few hours. I just kind of want to experience it from the beginning again.
Get the Great Plateau experience again, yeah.
Right. But other than doing the levels again and the bosses, which are kind of a low point for me, there's not really any need to start a new game.
No, you just load up your save. Your
right. There's still plenty to do out there and plenty to explore. So, no, I've had that same thought, but I know that if I start it, I'm not going to get very far.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's what I do. Maybe I start a new game, basically play till I'm off the plateau, and then just kind of be like, okay, well, let me go back to my other game. Yep. And, yeah, but no, I've kind of had that urge too.
So that was it for Nintendo. A couple notes I had here. We did not get any announcements about a new Switch Pro or cheap model. There was no Bayonetta 3. There was no Metroid Prime 4 or Trilogy, and there was no Cuphead DLC. I threw that in for me. One note, the Treehouse Live, they did say that Mario Maker 2 is going to get an update where you will be able to play online with friends. I don't know why that wasn't in there from the beginning. That's such a Nintendo move to not let you just play with people based on friend codes. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Sean, who do we think won E3? And addendum to that, was it Sony? The answer is no.
No.
Me. I thought before this last conference, I almost thought it was Sony.
You could ask 20 different people and get 20 different answers. I mean, to me, it's Nintendo followed by Square Enix.
For me, it's definitely Nintendo, and I know I have a bias there, and I try to keep that in check, but honestly, the only thing, Square Enix had so much crap that I do not care about at all. After Final Fantasy VII and up to Avengers, there was so much Japanese stuff that I would just never even think about playing. That,
right.
Like, seeing those two games was awesome. Well, one was more than the other. So the only other thing that comes up there for me is Xbox, and Xbox was a complete disappointment. It just was.
I mean, I think it's Nintendo.
Yeah, I think Nintendo won it. The Nintendo Direct style continues to prove that it's the best. That 40 minutes flew by. Yeah. Even games that I didn't care about, like Dragon Quest 11 and stuff, I was like, well, we're only going to spend a minute or two on this, and we're going to get to the next thing. We're not going to then have to talk to the developer and how they thought about this and what their mom thinks about the game and what button A does and stuff like that. Like, in, out, keep going. I love the Nintendo Directs.
Yep.
So our predictions winner. Let's go through these again. Kevin's predictions were, God dang it, Metal Gear Solid 3 remake in the Fox engine. New Splinter Cell announced, coming in early 2020.
I thought that was a lock.
Both of those got me 0 points. Cuphead DLC is out today. Cuphead was not mentioned one time. Also, the Messenger DLC is announced, is dated and announced for today. I gave myself a quarter point there because Messenger did get a date, but it wasn't today. Switch Online announcements completely F this one up. SNES games are coming this fall. They didn't say the word SNES or Super Nintendo or anything else. And we're going to get an achievement system. 0 points, Kevin. Halo Infinite gameplay will be running on Scarlet. We saw Halo, but it was not gameplay. It will be announced as a launch title. Ding. It will be announced to coming out fall 2020 on the Scarlet. Ding. And we will get the name for the console. So I got a half point there plus a quarter point for the Messenger. I got 0.75 points. Sean, on the other hand, his first prediction was we will get Final Fantasy VII details about what the episodic nature actually means, and the first will be out in November. Half point. Teaser for Final Fantasy 16. No. New Castlevania announced. Only if Castlevania translates to TurboGrafx 16. 0 points. We will get a lot of details on the Xbox, including specs and a tech demo. I gave him a full point for that. We did get all the details that Sony already announced, and they showed, technically, I say they showed a tech demo with Halo running on CG in there, and a Resident Evil 8 teaser. That's what I was saying, like Capcom wasn't even there.
Yeah. And
we both predicted Metroid Prime Trilogy. Son of a bitch. We didn't get any, not that it would change our predictions, but I cannot, when we knew Pokemon was coming out in November and Link's Awakening was coming out in September, I thought, okay, Prime Trilogy's October. There you go. Nothing. So Sean wins 1.5 points to 3/4 points. I was really struggling to get anything on this one. We're not doing a wrap-up. We're not doing a Did You Know, because I think 3 hours is long enough for this podcast. Thank you guys so much for being here for our longest non-live stream, non-WrestleMania predictions podcast we've ever done. Hope you're still there. You know the deal. Nerd901. We're on Twitter, at KevinWhite24, at RealSeanWhite, at 2player_co-op, youtube.com/2playercoop. Make sure to go over there and like and subscribe. Audio services around the multiverse, including iTunes, SoundCloud, Google, Spotify, Stitcher. And we have a Facebook page that we don't update, so don't go over there. This is the best time of the year. Even though Sony wasn't there, I'm glad it's E3. It was still fun. This was a long but fun podcast. I had a lot of fun doing this. Sean, anything you want to add before we get out of here?
I'm ready for bed.
I am too. I'm going to try to edit this right now and get it up tomorrow morning. That's what she said. We'll see if it happens. But hey, seriously, if you guys have tuned in for this whole thing, thank you so much for being here. We will be back next week for episode 140, and then we're probably going to take a quick break, but we'll see how that goes. But until that time, Sean, go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing.